Up the road in Tallahassee, Bobby Bowden's Seminoles have reloaded. And in Miami, Larry Coker's defending champs are talking repeats. Who will be the last team left standing? We'll begin to find out as the long march to #1 begins on ABC Sports next.
It's the earliest a college football season has ever started. That's why shorts and t-shirts are the attire of the day. Outside the Horseshoe, Columbus, Ohio, over 100,000 will be on hand as we get set to bring you Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, against the 12th-ranked Buckeyes of Ohio State here in the Pigskin Classic. Hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. Welcome to Columbus. Well, the season's already begun. Colorado State won on Thursday night. Wisconsin and a squeaker won last night. So here we are in the Pigskin Classic. It's Texas Tech and Ohio State. Both these teams will play 13 games this year. Everybody's playing 12. If you make it as far as your conference championship, there's an outside shot. If you make it to the big game, you could have a 15-game season. But it's first things first, and something they started 67 years ago, a tradition of Ohio State football. Let's script Ohio, and let's dot the I, and then let's play football in Columbus. We'll be back in a moment.
You'll be proud of our young people in the classroom, in the community, and most especially in 310 days in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Jim Tressel's first-year coaching promise was fulfilled last year in Ann Arbor, fueling the hopes and expectations of Buckeye fans for 2002. In the path in Week 1, a long-shot Heisman hopeful, the king of Big 12 quarterbacks, a daring and resourceful leader, arming for an upset and looking to put Lubbock on the top 25 map.
And we're just about set for that matchup in front of a sellout crowd in the Pigskin Classic, Texas Tech and Ohio State. But first, we're going to honor America. And right now, let's go to our public address announcer, Dave Carlisle.
Of Texas Tech University. To honor America, please rise and join the band in the singing of our national anthem.
You can bet there's a few butterflies, the coaches, the players, and the fans. And welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler along with you as ABC Sports begins its 37th year of college football. That was exactly how many years ago my partner took Purdue to the Rose Bowl. Bob Greasy, as always. And Robert, you know, you took a look at these two teams, 7-5, both of them a year ago. The expectations are higher this year. Texas Tech didn't even get mentioned when you talk about the Big 12 because they're so loaded, but they got a great quarterback.
Cliff Kingsbury, probably the best quarterback that you've never heard about. He has set 33 school records, 8 conference records. This kid is the preseason player of the year in the Big 12. Not Chris Sims and some of those other guys, but Cliff Kingsbury. A little hard to say, double K's. But this is his chance. This is his stage today. National television. Ohio State favored to win the Big Ten. If he goes in here and wins today, everybody will know his name.
Everybody thinks the strength of Ohio State is their defense, but their cornerbacks are young. Their head coach is also young, only his second year, and as he told us the other day, the honeymoon's over now.
Well, the honeymoon's over, and the high expectations are back. They are favored to win the Big Ten title for the first time in a long time. a lot of veteran players and a lot of young backups. If he can bring this club along throughout the season and bring his young players, especially at the skill positions, they got a great shot at winning the Big Ten title.
We talk about being young at the skill positions. The third man in our team's got more on that. Lynn Swan on the sideline. Swanee.
Thank you very much, Brad. It's nice to be back here on the green grass. For the Ohio State Buckeyes, there are a lot of young players who will be doing something for the first time today. Craig Krenzel, the starting quarterback, number 16. This will be his first start. Only his third start in his career, but his first start at home in the Horseshoe. And there's another big first. A first for the young freshman, Maurice Clarett, wearing number 13. He is the first true freshman to start in the history of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now keep in mind, when we talk to Jim Tressel, he knows that there's a lot of these kids, there's a lot of pressure. And he pointed out that when Chris Carter first took the field, he dropped his first pass as a Buckeye. When the only two-time Heisman Trophy winner, Archie Griffin, took the field, he left his helmet on the sideline. Now, he knows they're going to be nervous. There's high expectation. He's hoping they'll start with all of their equipment, but finish equally as well, Brad.
All right, Swanee. That was a great story about Chris Carter and Archie Griffin. And Jim, of course, was here as an assistant coach under Earl Bruce and helped school so many of those great players, not only at the collegiate level, but saw them go on to stardom in the NFL. Our temperature, it's 83 degrees, better than it could have been, because a couple of days ago it was about 93 here in Columbus. Light wind, forecast some clouds. There's a possibility of a scattered shower, but right now just about set on a fast track, and that's the way this guy likes it. Mike Leach in his third year as head coach of the Red Raiders of Texas Tech, and he's taken them to back-to-back bowl games in his first 2 seasons, and nobody else in their first 2 years at Texas Tech can ever make that claim. They like wide open football and basketball on grass, and they're going to have their hands on it first. Ivory McCann and Torian Henderson are the guys that'll drop back deep. Packed house, even though school is not in session yet here in Columbus.
And won't be for a month.
That's right. They're going to play 4 games before they ever have to go to class. Everybody up. Everybody awaits another college football season, I think, with more anticipation than ever before. Mike Nugent has got it teed up. And the final Pigskin Classic set to begin from Columbus, Ohio. Nugent's kick chases McCann to the goal line. He took one coast to coast last year. He won't take this one even to the 10-yard line. Dropped at the 8. Bobby Carpenter, one of the youngsters, a freshman linebacker who they're so high on, makes the opening tackle of the season.
Carpenter on his first play as a Buckeye makes the tackle.
Cliff Kingsbury comes out, the quarterback, who, as Bob said, tremendous numbers, 25 touchdowns. The only reason he probably wasn't the Big 12 quarterback of the year last season, there was a guy named Crouch at Nebraska. The senior is their undisputed leader, but he starts in a bit of a hole at his own 8-yard line. They will go shotgun about 80% of the time. And he's coming up to get his troops lined up with a noisy crowd behind him. They'll keep it on the ground. Something they don't do very often is run the football. Foy Munlin with a carry, and Tim Anderson dropped him. Starting lineups. Munlin will start. Ricky Williams, of course, was a star there for years. Peters, Welker, Page, and Francis in the 4 wideout grouping, even though Peters is considered a tight end. Loper, Campbell, Cecil, Rex Richards has the most experience. This is his 32nd start. He's a captain. Casey Beck is the right tackle. 2nd down and 10. There's the guy to watch, Wes Welker. The Ohio State coaches likened him to Tim Dwight or Vinnie Sutherland. And they try to throw to him, and it's almost picked off. C. Grant, last year a cornerback, this year a linebacker, almost had himself a gift.
You're right. Last year he was a linebacker. This year a linebacker. And this fits in well with the scheme about 4 wide receivers. Just doesn't make the play. But what Ohio State is doing is going to 5 defensive backs plus Grant, who was a corner last year.
3rd down at 10 for Kingsbury. They come with a 3-man rush. He's in trouble in the end zone. Trying to find some room, and he'll just walk out of bounds with it. A lot of pressure coming from Will Smith, the defensive end, and it's 3 and out for Texas Tech.
But he had enough time initially, Brad, to get rid of it The coverage downfield was such, he was confused at the start, and then nobody got open.
So they actually lost yardage on their opening drive, and the line of scrimmage is the 5. So Clinton Greathouse would like to hit a great punt here to try to help his defense out, because it looks like Ohio State's going to get it maybe in Texas Tech territory. Mike Doss, All-American, 2-time All-American defensive back, is in punt return formation. Snaps clean. He just barely got it away. And Doss says clear out. Now he'll take it on the hop at the 45. Made the first 2 miss. Mike Doss has got it down to the 32-yard line. That's where Ohio State will work offensively. Only a 41-yard kick and a 14-yard return, and now Craig Krenzel takes over. So just what Jim Tressel's troops would have liked to have done, and that's stop Texas Tech dead in their tracks and give it back to the offense in good field position. There's Krenzel's numbers, and as Swanee said, 3rd start ever, first time at home.
And if you ever want to start, make your first start at home, why not start on the other team's half of the field on the 33, 32-yard line? Great field position.
Krenzel's claim to fame, he helped engineer the win over Michigan in Ann Arbor last year. But this is the first time he's ever taken a first snap in his home stadium. 2 tight end set, Ryan Hamby and Ben Hartsock in there for the Buckeyes. And a freshman tailback behind Krenzel, Maurice Clarett, and we have a flag before we have a snap.
May have taken too long to get it snapped.
That they did.
5-yard penalty. Down to
Took a long time. Took a long time coming in initially before they got to the ball. That's the coaching staff's fault, not getting the team out there quick enough.
So now they back it up to the 37. Maurice Clarett out of Harding High in Warren, Ohio. Everybody's Mr. Football in this state, parade All-American. He came to school here early, started in winter quarters so he could take part in spring practice, and as Swanee said, he starts his first game. It's never happened in Ohio State history before, and they're going to let him have it on the first carry. Clarett cuts outside, puts his head down and his shoulder, and rumbles down back to the original line of scrimmage. So the first time the freshman touches it, he gets 5.
Not your average freshman.
Definitely not. There he is with Schnitker, his lead man, as a fullback, Hartsock the tight end, and Gamble and Jenkins are the wide receivers. Jenkins is a good one. Up front, the big eaters, Douglas, Stafford, Stepanovich, Bishop, and Olivier. Olivier with a lot of experience there. Stafford's a former walk-on and quite a story at left guard.
Stafford making his first start not only in college but ever. He never started in high school.
Is that amazing or what? 2nd and 10. Krenzel to throw. Zips it. Got a man. Jenkins out of bounds. First down at the 15. And a pickup of 17.
Big throw for Craig Krenzel, making your first completion of the season. Everybody's been comparing him to Kingsbury all season. Just a simple down and out. Single coverage. The ball could have been thrown a little bit better, but it's a completion, and he's 1 for 1.
Heck of a nice catch by Jenkins. He caught 49 to lead the team last year. So first down, and already in the red zone are the red-clad Buckeyes. In a 2 tight end set, they shift. Both of them on the left, and now one back in motion. And it's Clarett. And he stood up after a pickup of 2, maybe 3. Lawrence Flugents made the tackle, and he'll make a lot of them, you can bet. The Red Raider defense. Aaron Hunt is an all Big 12 performer, a preseason All-American with Harmon, Anderson, and McKinney. The linebackers, a good rangy group led by Flugents, who's led the Big 12 in tackles the last 2 years. Turner and Smith flank him. And in the secondary, Ricky Saylor, Ryan Aycock will take your head off if you give him a chance. B.J. Johnson and Joselio Hansen, the other corner. 2nd down and 8. Flugents is the leader out there, the senior out of Klein, Texas. Here's the give. Clarett broke 1 tackle, won't get away from the second wave, and got very little, if anything.
Texas Tech defense, Brad, has 9 starters back. In fact, 17 starters back on the entire offense and defense for this team. So it's a veteran group. Defense not really good that good last year in numbers-wise, but a lot of veterans back. Greg McMackin, the defensive coordinator, is an attacking style of coordinator. He likes to attack the offense, do a lot of blitzing.
He did that at Miami when he was there, and he did it with the Seattle Seahawks when he was there. 3rd down and 8. Let's see if Tressel puts it up. Off play action, he will. Maybe not. Scrambling, trying to find a man, and gets Clarett out in the flat, and he might have a first down. I think he does. Inside the 5, it's 1st and goal.
2 impressive things there, that Tressel keeps it going, and then the true freshman, Clarett, has the presence of mind to stay alive. Let's take a look. Little play action on 3rd down, doesn't fool anybody. Coverage downfield. Now Clarett is down there. Now he stays alive. He says, hey, you need some help? I wasn't the number 1 or 2 receiver, but here I am. I'll help you.
And he helps him down to the 4-yard line. 1st and goal. Full house backfield now. They give it to him again, and he's got it down inside the 2. Mike Smith, the outside linebacker, made the stop. But Ohio State on their opening drive, knocking on the door. Remember, they started at the 32-yard line, were penalized back to the 37, and now they're down at the Red Raider 2-yard line. In the zone last year.
59%, 60% almost. When you get inside the 20, you score a touchdown. That's pretty good. Not great, but pretty good.
At the 2, 2nd down and goal. Again, Schnitker in there as the middleman in a 3-man backfield.
Unbalanced line to the right.
They're going to give it off to Ross. Left side. Touchdown, Buckeyes. Lydell Ross's first carry of the season is a 2-yard touchdown. Clarett threw a nice block in there to help his teammate in the backfield, and Ross did the rest.
Well, that's a good drive, opening drive of the season for Craig Tressel, obviously, and the rest of the Buckeyes. Offense wasn't that great last year. They were 10th in the conference in passing offense, so they got it down and got a score on the first one.
Andy Groom in for the point after. He's kicked much better in this preseason than he did last year in the regular season. He knocks the extra point right down the middle. So a 32-yard drive in 7 plays. Took 3 minutes for the Buckeyes to take the lead, up 7-0. Reason to cheer early for Ohio State. They lead 7-0. The guy that got him the touchdown, Lydell Ross, was their number 2 rusher behind Jonathan Wells last year. The first time he touches it this year, he goes 2 yards for the score. And Mike Leach's team went backward with its opening drive and then almost had the punt blocked. The great field position afforded them by Mike Doss on the punt return led to the 32-yard march in just 3 minutes.
Well, field position, Texas Tech had poor field position inside their own 15. Ohio State had great field position.
Well, they're going to start better this time. Oh boy, dangerous coming from deep in the end zone, and he's got a little bit of a seam. Out across the 30 and out to the 33-yard line. Ivory McCann. Boy, you talking about guts.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, the touchdown he scored last year on a kick return, even though it only went officially as 100, was a 108-yarder. This would have been 109 if he had one more guy that he could have gotten by.
Look where he fields this ball. He's almost out of the back of the end zone, 9 yards deep, and he runs it out. This you could have been caught inside the 5-yard line a lot of times off that.
So they get good field position out of that.
I guess they know more about their return team than we do.
That's right. At the 34-yard line. Some room to breathe now for Kingsbury. And the inside handoff. Ohio State defensively right there to meet Foy Munlin. And the Ohio State defense is a good one. Here's how they look up front. Will Smith, who we talked to yesterday, the leader on the defensive line with Peterson, Anderson, and Darian Scott. The linebackers, Matt Wilhelm inside is a tough guy, Reynolds, and now we mentioned Grant has moved from the secondary back to linebacker. Fox and McNutt, the 2 corners, are the question marks because they haven't played much, but Donnie Nicky and Michael Doss might be the best 2 safeties as a combo in college football.
I'd vote for that.
Kingsbury, plenty of time. Deep ball, overshot it. Oh, overshot his receiver, Anton Page, and Dustin Fox just about took his head off.
Yeah, that could have been called. The ball was way over his head and out of bounds. There it goes right there.
Dustin Fox, and if the name rings a bell, you'll remember his Uncle Tim, who was an All-American here, and his brother was an All-American or All Big Ten performer at Penn State. Watch this lick.
Played against Tim, his uncle. Ooh, that's a close call. In fact, he had 4 uncles that went to school at Ohio State, and his brother Derek at Penn State.
3rd down 9. Kingsbury fires it right back to the same guy, and Page has a first down.
That's a big play. That's a big play for an offense that is supposed to carry this team. It's big that they don't turn the ball back to Ohio State. 2 quick possessions.
And they go right back to the guy that took the lick in the chops, Anton Page, against the same defender in Dustin Fox. So it's first down, the first one of the season for Texas Tech, and they're just outside their own 40-yard line. 9:45 to go first quarter. If you just joined us, Ohio State scored early. They lead 7-0. Welker is the motion man out of the shotgun. Kingsbury in trouble. Down he goes. And it's Will Smith. And I don't mean Men in Black 2. I mean he's bigger than that, Will Smith. 6'4", about 265.
Well, the strength of this defense is the defensive line. Up the top of your screen, he's just coming on all wheels and quickly. The strength of that defense is the line, and the best lineman there is Will Smith. It's his first sack of the year after having 4 last year.
And it forces a 2nd down and 13. Again, Munlin flanking Kingsbury in the gun. Here comes a blitz. He scrambles around it. He's a good runner, throws on the run and got his man across midfield. Flag goes down. Did the receiver go out of bounds and come back in? Maybe. Or is it a face mask call?
I thought it was a face mask.
Mickey Peters made the catch.
Kingsbury's pass complete to pending was Donnie Nicky.
No, I think he was on the line when he caught it.
And our referee, Mike, not working so far, apparently. Rich Collin.
Yeah, they're bringing it back.
So they would have been in Buckeye territory. Instead, it comes back to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, he was standing on the line when he caught the ball.
So it's going to be 3rd down.
Yeah, the official should have thrown his hat and not his flag.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
3rd down, 13. Pump fake by Kingsbury, goes the other way. They got a little mini screen set up there. Munlin broke 1 tackle, didn't get away from the second one. And that was Matt Wilhelm, the linebacker, who knocked him down.
Wilhelm does a nice job. If he breaks the tackle from Wilhelm, he picks up a first down.
So Texas Tech will have to punt again. Clinton Greathouse, the first one 41 yards and was almost blocked. And Mike Doss returned that one 14 yards to set up the Ohio State touchdown. This time he'll have more room to work with. High kick. Doss has a look, going to let it go, and it might be a beauty. It is at the 4-yard line. Can't do better than that. So Texas Tech trying to give Ohio State a taste of their own medicine. Bad field position, but it's still the Buckeyes by a touchdown. And Chevy trucks, the most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road. Budweiser delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. Sprint, experience the clear alternative to cellular today. And the Home Depot, driving down the cost of home improvement. Couldn't improve on the Buckeyes opening drive, but they only had to go 32 yards. Now they're pinned at their own 4-yard line after the great punt by Greathouse. And Ohio State will go with a 2 tight end set. Clarett, the freshman, in his own end zone to set up shop this time. And he gets the call.
Yeah, it's an 8-man front. The Red Raiders just slid the safety up there, and Turner makes the tackle.
Let's take a look at our Burger King game solution, Bob.
Well, as we mentioned, it's Kingsbury's stage. If he plays well, they've got a great chance to win and let the nation know about Cliff. And for Ohio State, the high expectations are back. and they should be. I was really impressed talking to Jim Tressel yesterday. He had an outstanding recruiting class.
Did he ever?
One or two more of those, and we'll be thinking not Big Ten championships, but bigger than that.
Maurice Hall now takes Maurice Clarett's place, and he gets a toss sweep on the right side, and he gets bowled down at the 9-yard line. Prior to that play, Ohio State had run 8 plays offensively. Clarett had touched it 6 times, 5 times on the ground and 1 time as a pass receiver.
Well, the fullback's not going to get it.
No, that's right.
With all that talented tailback, and they've got 3 of them. The fullback is just a blocker.
Yeah, I don't think Brandon Schnitker is going to touch it, but who knows?
Yeah.
Wisconsin's fullback hadn't touched it either, and he got 2 touchdowns
Well,
last
there
night.
you go. That's right. Brandon Joe, the starting fullback for Ohio State, is out of this game, suspended for 1 game only.
He'll rejoin the team tomorrow officially. Krenzel. Craig's going to run with it. He's got a wide open field. And Craig Krenzel gets sandwiched at the 31-yard line, but pops right back up.
That's a quality that if you have that in a quarterback, it makes it so much tougher on a defense to know that not only can he drop back and throw it, but he can also scramble up the pocket. Look at the center of the field. Flugents is number 51. He takes off out of there, and then Krenzel just gets down. Now, the only thing I'd tell my quarterback
I know.
is when you get down there and the party's over, get down. Get down.
When the party's over, turn in your pass.
That's it.
He got 23 yards.
Hit the deck.
To the 32. First down, Ohio State. Texas Tech thinking about a blitz in the middle. And it's Hall who gets back to the line of scrimmage if he's lucky. Rodney McKinney made the hit. Let's check in with Swanee.
Well, Brad, you're talking about the quarterback making that decision to run. Every coach, every team has questions going into the first ball game, and for the offensive side for Ohio State, one of those questions are QB decisions. And you can see the other questions Ohio State has for its offense, but equally there are 3 big questions they want to find out about their defense too. You know, can they tackle in the open field? And we'll come back and we'll take a look at that in just a moment, Brad.
Well, the second one on your list there is you asked Coach Tressel that very thing yesterday, quarterback decisions, and he made a good one on the scramble. Let's see if he does on the play action pass. He does. Got a man wide open in the flats. It's going to be Hall, and he's going to be close to a first down. I think he's about 2 feet shy. Picked up about 9 yards on the reception. Glenn.
Well, Brad, let's take a look at the defensive questions that Ohio State has in this particular ball game. And we've seen already in a couple of series, they've answered some of those questions, tackling in the open field. And we've seen those guys make some big tackles to prevent Texas Tech from breaking a long one. As this game progresses, the coaches will be watching players and to see which ones will give them the right answers today.
Right now, they've got one more question. 3rd down at about 2 feet. Everybody loaded up. High backfield. Schnitker, the fullback. And Krenzel's going to give it off to Clarett, and he's got not only a first down, he might have it all. Maurice Clarett, first big play of his Buckeye career, is a touchdown. Years old, 59 yards, touchdown.
He got some great blocking on the right side of that offensive line. Bishop and Olivier and Hartsock, and he knows it.
Mike Nugent in for the point after. The Buckeyes go 96 yards, most of it courtesy of their sensational, we can say it already, tailback Maurice Clarett. Welcome to the Big Ten and big-time college football there, partner. Ohio State 14, Texas Tech nothing. Here's a young fella who rushed for about 2,200 yards and 38 touchdowns in his senior season last year in high school. Had 400 yards and 5 scores in a single regional semifinal playoff game. And today he's carried the load for the Buckeyes. I don't know if he'll ever be as good as that one, but he's off to a heck of a start. 59-yard touchdown moments ago capped a 6-play, 96-yard march. And it's 14-0. And you know that Greg McMackin right now is saying, guys, we got to straighten this thing out.
Yeah.
Here's a pooch kick taken by Welker at the 24. Welker, a good return man. If he can get the corner, he finally does. Got about 5 extra yards. He's run out of bounds at the 29-yard line by Bobby Carpenter.
Let's go back, take a look at the touchdown from behind the defense. The offensive line is everybody's going to come down and block. Now the first-year starter Stafford is going to come and throw a kick-out block. Right there is where the running back is going to run through the hole. Stafford, number 50, comes over, picks up the last blocker, got a good block from Schnitzker, and the 3 offensive linemen blocking down. And Clarett knows what to do with it.
He's got him right next to him on the bench.
Yeah. He knows where to go and sit.
Both making their first starts and making big plays.
Sit with those offensive linemen.
Kingsbury flips it out quickly to Mickey Peters. The flag flies in. Dustin Fox is over there to make the play. And that wasn't even a one-step drop by Kingsbury that time.
Dustin Fox, and 35, Matt Wilhelm.
Chop block, illegal chop block against Texas Tech. So again, they go the wrong direction on their end of the field with 4 minutes 53 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And it's a hole they didn't want to be in, down 14 to Ohio State.
The top of the picture. Right there, right there.
There it is.
If you're lined up outside, you cannot come back inside within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage and throw a block. If you do, you've got to hit him high and not low.
Carlos Francis is the guilty party. And they walk it back inside the 15-yard line, down to the 14. Now they got to go all the way to the 38 for a first down. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Kingsbury sets up and has time. He's got a man wide open. And it's McGuire, Clay McGuire, out to the 31-yard line. So they got a nice chunk of that back. A pickup of 17.
McGuire was lined up. Texas Tech went to 2 wide receivers and 2 tight ends. They usually go 4 wide receivers. McGuire that time lined up at the tight end. What Ohio State had been doing is switching defensively from a 3-4 to a 4-3, kind of messing with the offensive mind. So nice change up for the Red Raiders there.
9 plays has only produced 11 yards and a couple of punts. 2nd and 7, inside handoff. Nice run this time by Munlin. He got stood up pretty good when he got near the line of the first down marker. Will Allen the tackle. But it's a manageable 3rd down situation now. 3rd down about a yard, maybe 2. Of course, it's almost impossible for Texas Tech to replace what they had last year at running back in Ricky Williams. Little Ricky Williams.
Yeah. Little Ricky, he only ran for 720 yards, but he caught 92 passes in this offense.
And many of their passes virtually are runs. Oh, and Ohio State jumped in the neutral zone, it looks like, unless he was drawn off. Kenny Peterson's going to give Texas Tech first down.
Offsides with contact on the defense, 5-yard penalty.
Now we got Rich Collins' microphone working, head of our officials today. So that's going to give a first down to Texas Tech.
Just another tool that a smart quarterback, a 5th-year quarterback like Kingsbury, staggering his cadence at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and short, within 5 yards, you get a cheap first down.
Here they are approaching midfield again, but last time they couldn't sustain the drive. So first down at their own 42. Kingsbury from the gun, 3 wideouts over here on the left side. That's where he's looking, but now he has to scramble that way. In trouble. Down he goes, loss of about 3, and it's Matt Wilhelm, the middle linebacker, who put his radar on and tracked him down.
Wilhelm is all over the field, making his 23rd start of his career at middle linebacker, and he can play against the pass, he can run people down. Just an outstanding middle linebacker.
I said to Matt yesterday, I said, "You ready for the game?" He said, "You bet," with a big smile on his face. And I said, "If you can catch him, you can hit him." He said, "I'll catch him."
Yeah. He's got that number. You know what he played. He was 35 He was a running back in high school.
Somewhere along the line.
Yeah, he can run.
Here's a throw, quick slant, nice toss by Kingsbury. It's going to get it out to the 44. Only about a 4-yard pickup, though, as they got it to Carlos Francis. Remember, Francis' chop block is what set him on the negative side of things on this drive to start with. And we're down to just over 2 minutes left in the first half.
And Francis is the guy they'd like to get the ball to. He's got the speed. He caught 50 passes last year, 3 going for touchdowns. So he's the guy that has the big play. He and Welker on that offense.
Everybody up tight, 7 up close for Ohio State, and they're going to bring the blitz. Kingsbury stays in the pocket, delivers a strike, and he's got a first down. And that's a senior quarterback hanging in there, and he found Anton Page.
That's exactly right. It wasn't the exact timing that all the practice. It wasn't exactly. But Page is fighting McNutt here on the receiving end of it, and he's finding a lane to throw to. And they stay with it. He throws it to the outside. I like that. I like that.
Page with 2 catches, both on 3rd down, and this one gets him a first at the 45. Back to the ground. Munlin got cartwheeled by Mike Doss, and he does that to a lot of people. A 2-time All-American. Reminder, next Saturday night, Fighting Irish of Notre Dame will battle defending ACC champion Maryland in the Kickoff Classic. It's part of the holiday weekend bash presented by AT&T Wireless. Next Saturday night, live at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. ABC Sports, the class of college football. Brent Musburger, Gary Danielson, Jack Garrett will bring you that one next week.
Ralph Friedgen's got a new look.
Yes, he does. He's about 35, 40 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
But he's missing his tailback, Bruce Perry. And that isn't good.
No, that's not good.
2nd down 9. Coming up throwing. Nice hit by McNutt on Nehemiah Glover, who made the catch and got about 7. So in the final half minute here of the first quarter, despite the fact they're in a 2-touchdown hole, Texas Tech putting together a pretty good looking drive. They've worked it to the 37.
This team can score some points.
Yes, they'll put points up, as you see there, the second quarter.
They've averaged 35 points a game last year, and they got a lot of the players back again.
Probably the final play of this quarter. Kingsbury looking at a blitz. Here it comes. Flared it out and almost picked off by Simon Frazier. The big defensive end. Only a sophomore out of Upper Arlington, Ohio, and he almost had himself an interception.
Well, they had a blitz inside of Frazier. Frazier was kind of dropping off. Frazier's up at the top, number 75, and you see him kind of drifting when he saw Kingsbury looking that way. It was a nice play by him.
He's the tallest defensive lineman the Buckeyes have at 6'6", and he used all of that to get his arms up in the way. And now, here comes 4th down. 4th and 2. Crowd comes to life at the shoe. Texas Tech going for it. Kingsbury rifles it. Got a first down. He might have a touchdown. He does. Carlos Francis is gone. 37 yards for the score to end the first quarter. That's gutsy. On a 4th and 2. The quick slant. Kingsbury put it right on the money. Francis did the rest.
Well, we told you Francis was their go-to guy, their big play guy on 4th and 2. Ohio State blitzes, leaves single coverage on Francis, and he makes the play.
Robert Treese in for the point after. Great house to hold as Texas Tech has silenced the Buckeye faithful. Extra point is good. What a way to end the first quarter, and a good first quarter really by both teams. 14-7 our score at the end of one. ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. The Texas Tech coaches said they clocked Carlos Francis in the preseason at 4.27. And once he made the catch in front of McNutt, nobody was going to catch him.
Well, you know, finding a guy that's that fast is not easy. Then when you do find somebody that fast, find somebody that can catch.
That's right.
And Cliff Kingsbury found him on the quick slant to make this a 1-touchdown ball game as we're set to start the second quarter. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan, and our ABC crew at the Pigskin Classic in Columbus. Here's a kick. Maurice Hall is going to take it with his right foot on the goal line and bringing it out. Got tripped up as he crossed the 25 to the 26-yard line by Ivory McCann. Let's take another look at the touchdown, Bob.
All right, here's the blitz by the linebacker right here. This leaves single coverage at the top. He just going to run a slant, and the ball is thrown perfectly. Blitz, single coverage at the top, and if McNutt doesn't make the tackle, which he doesn't, there's nobody else there.
Kingsbury was 5 out of 6 for 76 yards on that drive.
And Bob, this is Lynn. I would have thought in that situation with only 4 or 5 yards to go for the first down, if I'm the cornerback, I need to go up a little tighter to trying to stop the first down pass.
You're right, Lenny, but you know, sometimes it's not their choice. That's a coaching decision a lot of times, especially in college football.
Maurice Hall in at tailback. Play action for Krenzel. He loads deep. And let's see. Broken up. I think there was a tie on that football for a while between Chris Gamble and Joselio Hansen, and nobody came up with it.
Ball was underthrown just a little bit. If he could have got it out further down the field, could have had a completion. Just get the ball further down. See, you throw it and underthrow it. You let the defensive back catch up.
That was closer to being intercepted than it was to being caught.
That's for sure.
Nice play by Hansen. Second down at 10. 3 wide out grouping for Krenzel. And he's going to whip it out. Complete. Chris Gamble, and he is cut down immediately by Ricky Saylor.
Well, when you do that, when you pop up and you just throw the ball out to one of your wide receivers, you're banking on those corners out there defensive backs can't tackle, and that your guy is quick enough and agile enough to avoid a tackle and make some yards.
So this is really about the first time Ohio State's been in a 3rd and long situation. 3rd down and 9. See how they handle it. Texas Tech obviously looking for a stop after their big touchdown play to end the first quarter. Clarett back in at tailback. Krenzel got a block from Clarett. Goes the other way. Look out. Down he goes. It's Aaron Hunt, who has just become the all-time sack leader in Texas Tech football history with that hit.
That's his 26th sack of his career. And he's on the inside there, made a little game, twisted a little bit. The thing about this, he never gives up. He was blocked to the inside, just never gave up, and that's what a lot of these sacks are, just hustle.
Andy Groom, deep kick at the 21 is Welker. Got by the first guy. Welker out of bounds. Got it out to about the 33-yard line. A 55-yard kick. And there's the numbers. And Monte Rager's a good friend to Aaron Hunt. So Monte played 95 to 98, had 25.5 sacks. Hunt just passed him. And he said, it's going to mean a lot to me when I get that because it's my buddy that held the record. And he's not that far away from being the all-time sack record holder in the Big 12 because he is only now 4 behind Darren Howard of Kansas State. He's a good one. Preseason Playboy All-American.
Yeah. He was the top guy sacker in the Big 12 last year. Led the conference in tackles for loss also.
First down, Texas Tech. Toss sweep. Torian Henderson, and he broke a couple of tackles. Somehow got his way to the 36-yard line. Will Smith was in on the stop defensively. Coming up, the Valvoline halftime show. Stay with us at halftime for the Valvoline halftime show. We'll have a look at the early college football action. Keith Jackson will be along with a look at the upcoming season, and we'll have highlights from today's action and what led up to this first weekend. All coming up, Valvoline halftime show at the Shoe in Columbus. Play action. Kingsbury waits all day, tried to throw over the middle, and he got hammered for his efforts after he let go of the football. Henderson couldn't hold it. And Will Smith again was putting the heat on Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, this offensive line is having trouble keeping that defensive line, Ohio State, off. I mean, if they throw quick, they ain't got no problem. But when you sit back there and you look one way and then go another way, you don't have time for that.
They're all good up there, and they're pretty deep. Kingsbury 7 out of 12 so far. Faces
A third down situation from the gun. Cliff fires, incomplete, intended for Glover. And a nice job by Dustin Fox over on the corner. So Texas Tech's got to give it up. Second time it's 3 and out. And Greathouse will come out to punt it away. Mike Leach has worked with some good quarterbacks, and he says this guy has got the same kind of smarts and savvy as guys like Tim Couch he had at Kentucky and Josh Heupel at Oklahoma when he was coordinators at those two schools. Chris Gamble drops back deep as we look from behind Clinton Greathouse. There's Gamble, a starting wide receiver. Not a great punt. See what kind of roll they get. Almost hit a Buckeye player. It rolls dead at the 25-yard line. 39-yard kick. Buckeyes at home, leading Texas Tech 14-7. Pigskin Classic in Columbus at the Horseshoe. 14-7, hometown Buckeyes lead. And they'll start this time at the 25-yard line. Again, a 2 tight end set, and they both shift to the top of your screen. Here's the toss sweep. Clarett. Maurice goes across the 29 out to the 30-yard line. Give him 5 more and give him 74 for the game. Not too bad. First-time starter. First game. He's picked up some blitzes. He's caught some passes.
That's impressive.
And he's done some great running, like this one. It went 59 for a touchdown.
Well, the first thing all of your teammates are going to wonder is that all you can do?
Yeah.
Is that all you can do is run? Can you block? And he gained respect from his teammates by picking up linebackers and knowing what to do in all of his assignments.
At the 30. Tressel, draw play. Clarett broke one tackle. Here he goes again. Out to the 46. 16 more. You know, you can hear all the hype in the world, and you can even hear the coaches say he's going to be special, that he's unique. But Grease, you and I don't get a chance until he actually puts on the uniform and does stuff like this.
Exactly. And you know, we've seen a lot of freshmen have big high school numbers, and we never usually show high school numbers because you never know what the competition is like. But this kid's the real deal. Good blocking up front there again by Mike Stafford, making his first start. Fifth-year senior, was a walk-on, making his first start in that line today.
The other Maurice in there now in a dual backfield. Maurice Clarett, Maurice Hall. Tressel back to throw, deep ball. Going on the outside, and flags are down. It's going to be interference as Chris Gamble is out there against Joselio Hansen.
This is going to be interference on Hansen.
That'll put Ohio State in Texas Tech territory.
I don't know.
Pretty good battle going on there.
Pass interference on the defense. 15 yards, previous spot, automatic first down.
They both had their elbows in there, and really not much gain by either player.
It was in college. You can even block them downfield as long as they're not past you. As long as they're in front of you or on the same yard line on the side of you, you can chuck them. But once they get past you, and I didn't see anything there.
I know. I would say Greg McMackin's going to say to Joselio, you know, you played that well. We just got penalized for it. Here's a draw play to Hall. Trying to cut outside, and they're going to cut him down. He'll lose 3. Ricky Saylor sailed right in there and knocked him off his pins. Under 11 minutes here in the half. 14-7 Ohio State. Now a second down and 13 coming up. Our Aflac trivia question this week. Before Antoine Winfield in '98, who was the last Ohio State defensive back named first team All-American? We'll give you a chance to think that one over.
I think they'll have Michael Dawson be one this year. Been a 2-time All-American.
He's going to be a 3-time All-American.
Yeah.
Probably. Tressel under pressure. Running to his right, and he's got enough room, and that marker's in sight. He got it. First down. Nice scramble by Tressel.
Well,
second time he's run out of trouble today.
Yeah, and he knew he was in good shape because he knew he could outrun number 74.
That's right.
Harmon, the big defensive lineman. Tressel says, I'm in good shape. I know I can outrun it. Now he drops back. He wants to throw, but he gets a little pressure, so he steps up, and he says, hey, there's a lot of green over here. I got nobody to worry about.
Then he just puts it on cruise control right there.
So I couldn't catch him.
Big plate's going, man. I'm 287, and it's hot out here.
Get me out of here. Let me take a blow for a play or two.
2 tight end set. No wide receivers on the field right now for Ohio State.
Got an unbalanced line to the right.
But they'll come back the other way with Clarett. Get positive yardage to the 23 before they stand him up, and they never do get him down. Lawrence Flugents, the defensive captain, the middle linebacker, made the hit.
Bob and Brad, we've talked about Clarett quite a bit, but one of the things his teammates and the coaches are most impressed with, aside from his physical ability, is his intelligence. They say he's one of the brightest guys picking everything up. And the case in point, something a lot of people might have missed in today's ball game. On one series, it was 1st and 2nd down. He was in the ball game. But in 3rd down, they substitute Clarett because he's the better of the running backs at picking up the blitzes.
Yeah, he's got an 18-year-old and 2 19-year-olds is what Jim Tressel's working with for tailbacks. Play action. Tressel comes up firing. Oh, what a nice one-handed catch by his tight end, Ben Hartsock. And he's out of bounds with an Ohio State 1st down. Ben, the starting tight end several times in 2 tight end sets last year when they had Darnell Sanders, but a big catch here.
Take a good look at this because they don't throw to the tight ends very often. Caught 7 balls last year, and he's campaigning right there. So, hey, I can catch this ball, and I can turn 3rd downs into 1st downs.
And he did turn that one into a 1st down. Tressel, 5 different receivers so far. At the 14-yard line, 1st down, back to the ground. Clarett hit immediately, might have eked out a yard. Nice job by Aaron Hunt defensively to make the stop. ABC Sports has a holiday weekend bash presented by AT&T Wireless for you starting next Saturday at noon Eastern. We're going to be in the big house. Number 9 Washington, number 10 Michigan will get together at 3:30. You'll see Virginia battle Florida State or Illinois, Missouri. Then in prime time, it's Notre Dame and Maryland in the kickoff classic. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports.
What a great game that Michigan Washington won last year, huh?
Oh boy, and there'll be some payback the Wolverines will be looking for on their home turf.
Yeah.
2nd down and 9. Tressel off play action. A lot of time. Found a man. Who else? Inside the 5 and down to the 4. 2nd time he's made a catch as a safety valve receiver, this time down the middle, and it's very close to a 1st down.
What Clarett does, he just finds a spot. Here's Clarett right here. He's just going to fake and watches. He'll go through the line and he'll find an opening right in the middle. Fakes to him. Now he's looking downfield. Now Clarett's his outlet. He finds an open spot, drifts to the area, and stays there.
3rd down and about 2 feet. Clarett gets a handoff, cuts outside, and he got the 1st. He almost got the touchdown. There shows his strength. He just took a couple of Red Raiders for a ride.
You know, I was impressed with his, everybody's got speed when you're at that position, but he's 6 foot and 230 pounds. Saw him before the ball game, and he is strong from the waist down.
Bob, it looks like he's going to be dead in his tracks at about the 6 right here.
Yeah, right there, and he runs through 2 guys.
He's got 1 touchdown. Lydell Ross has the other, and it's Lydell lined up as the tailback in the Buckeye eye at the 1-yard line. Ross, 2nd carry, 2nd touchdown. Lydell Ross has scored from 2 yards and now 1 yard out. Jim Tressel's got to be liking what he's seeing. Mike Nugent comes in for the point after with 7 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the half. Extra point is good. So Ohio State does it a variety of ways. Tressel had a great scramble. He threw well. They got it to the freshman, and they got it to the sophomore. 21-7. UC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chrysler. Drive equals love. The United States Postal Service. And Circuit City. We know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City, we're with you. The Buckeyes ground out. Another touchdown on a 75-yard drive in 10 plays. A little under 5 minutes. Clarett, 5 rushes for 29. He caught a pass. He got it down to the 1. And Lionel Ross did the rest. Nugent to kick. Ivor McCann. Torrey and Henderson are deep. And this one goes out of the end zone. Texas Tech will have to work from its own 20-yard line. Well, with a quick strike offense, no need to panic yet, but Ohio State looks like a pretty good football team, and Texas Tech knows they're in a war now.
Impressed with the play of Craig Tressel. He is doing everything he's supposed to do, not making mistakes. Been very efficient, and the defense for Ohio State is outplaying the offense for Texas Tech, aside from that one 4th down play where they hit the pass for the touchdown.
There's the numbers on Kingsbury. Just over 50%, and that one score. Welker in motion, out of the shotgun from the 25. Kingsbury, shovel pass inside. Hello, Will Smith. Torian Henderson probably wondering if he's going to Miami right now. He's singing to himself. Oh, that was a hit. We're kidding Will Smith as he gets kidded by everybody about having the namesake of the actor.
Watch.
This was no acting.
Watch him here. He's going to make a big loop to the inside. Just happens to run into.
Gee.
The back says, hey, what do I do to deserve this?
If there is a connection, he was born on the 4th of July, and Will Smith did a movie called Independence Day. I guess that's the hook. Almost intercepted by the same man.
Well, what they've been doing with Will is sometimes they've been dropping him off into a linebacker.
Little zone blitz.
Yeah, exactly. And then sometimes just lining him up in a 3-4. Other times, like the first play, they line him up on the defensive end and just let him rush the passer.
I said to Will yesterday, I said, where's home? He said, well, they always say Utica, New York, but it's Queens.
He could have had a sack and an interception on back-to-back plays.
Right. And now the crowd is alive. 3rd and 12. Kingsbury in trouble. Cliff trying to buy himself some time, but nobody home. He threw it to the Ohio State bench.
That's just good, smart defensive calls by Mark D'Antonio. Had a big game and a blitz on the first play. Had a 3-4 on the second play and changed the defense again on the 3rd down. He saw 3 different looks that time, did Kingsbury.
And Ohio State should get good field position again following the punt. Greathouse will have to kick it away on a 4th and 12. 3rd time in 5 series it's been 3 and out, and Gamble will drop back near his own 40-yard line as the punt return man. Not a good kick again. Line drive wobbling inside the 45, and it is going to be good field position without Gamble having never to touch it at the 39-yard line, make it the 38. That's where they'll go to work when we come back, leading by 2 touchdowns. There's Ross's other one from a yard out. It's 21-7. The Buckeyes in front with 6 minutes 38 seconds remaining in the first half, and now they've got the ball back their own 43-yard line.
138 yards rushing, 54 yards passing for Ohio State. That's updated.
Clarett only got about a yard that time. 6.5 to go. Swanee, you're the only one that knows how hot it really is down there. The skies have cleared, and Ohio State's had the ball most of the time on offense. Those big hogs might be getting tired.
You're absolutely right. It's in the mid-80s and high humidity, and the offense was probably hoping that the defense might stay in the field a little bit longer because they have to have been on this field, as far as I can tell, this afternoon so far. Matter of fact, on the last touchdown drive, Alex Stepanovich hustled to the sideline, ripped off his helmet, and had to take a knee in a hurry.
He's one of the biggest guys on that front at 310. Tressel, play action, going deep. Got Jenkins out there, just tipped away. Nice play by Ricky Saylor to stay with it because Michael Jenkins had a step and the ball was pretty well thrown.
Those two were high school teammates right there, and a great play by Saylor. Jenkins has got the height on him down at the bottom of the screen. It's just going to be single coverage. You can bet that Jenkins was saying, hey, Craig, you got to throw one on my homeboy. I can take him.
Both out of Tampa.
Yeah.
One went to Texas, one went to Ohio.
You know what, you guys, on that play, it looks like maybe he should go straight up, Bob, and catch out at the higher point.
Good point.
But keep in mind, a lot of times these guys can't get those hands up above the shoulder pads. The shoulder pads prevent them from putting their arms straight up in the air.
Here's Tressel, swing pass, little screen to Clarett, and he got across midfield. Didn't get the first down, but got close to the 49. And it's going to be 4th down, and let's see what Jim Tressel wants to do because it's 4th and about 2. And already the fans are recognizing that.
Well, all the coaches in the stands.
And he says, Andy, get out there and punt one, will you?
Yeah.
I got a 2-touchdown lead. We're not going to get crazy.
That's right.
So Groom, who kicked deep last year but didn't get great hang time, has been trying to improve that this year. And he'll try to lay one up here. This one is no hang time at all. Welker off a line drive at the 9. Welker coming back the other way. And he got about 12 yards on the return. Did the ball come loose at the end? They're going to blow it dead. So Texas Tech gets it back offensively with 5:12 to go. Earlier we asked you our Aflac trivia question before Antoine Winfield in '98. Who was the last Ohio State defensive back named first-team All-American? I'll guess Ron Springs.
Sean Springs.
Sean Springs.
That's who I was going to guess.
Ron's his daddy. Swanee, you want to guess?
Well, I don't know. I'm not quite there. It's neither Springs or it's Jack Tatum. I'm hoping it's Springs. You know, I remember Tatum.
Oh, it's Jack Tatum. There it is.
Yeah, I think he has my brain cells tucked under his arm.
Good job. He did that to a lot of people.
Yes, sir.
68-70, defensive back. Defensive player of the year as a senior, as a matter of fact. Here's the throw out quickly to Welker. Welker got by the first guys down the sideline. Somehow he tight-roped that sideline, and he gets all the way out near midfield. In fact, right to the 50. I thought he was going to get knocked out of bounds.
He's only 5'9" and 190, and he just had good balance scooting around the outside. And as we were told, if there's going to be a big play to be made, it's going to be from Francis or from Welker.
And Francis made one, and Welker makes a nice one here. Picks up 29 yards. Watch his sideline work. Woo!
Whoa.
It's a good thing he's only got size 9s.
Yeah.
Out to midfield. Boy, what a nice job of staying in bounds.
Page getting blocked there just enough.
Trying to cut into the 14-point lead. Texas Tech goes to the ground. And they got about 3. They threw 68% of the time last year. And even as we said, Ricky Williams, with the talent he had as a running back, and Bob mentioned it earlier, he caught 92 balls. And much of what they do in what looks like a running game is really just a quick pass.
Yeah. Mike Leach calls most all the plays also.
At the 44, 2nd and 4. And now they empty the backfield. There's a bubble screen, and it's blown up. That bubble got popped by Will Allen. Take a look at the Chrysler passing playbook, Bob.
Well, this is what you do when you spread the field. 4 wide receivers, they go straight down the field. The quarterback looks to the right side to pull the free safety over there and then pops it back down the left side. You stretch the field horizontally before the snap of the ball, and then you try to get the ball down and read the free safety. Kingsbury's got that in the offense.
All 3rd downs are big. I think this one's huge. If they can put any kind of points up before halftime, they need this one. Down the middle, got it. And a bounce off at the 30. Peters still on his feet down the sideline, and he's all the way down to the 16-yard line. So they needed 4. They got 29. That's a big play for the Red Raiders. And there's a penalty marker at the end of the play.
Let's see what the penalty is.
You talk about nice balance by Peters, who's really listed as a tight end. He may weigh 210, 211, something like that, but he kept his balance, and it got him big extra yardage, and for the second time today, he's been face masked.
Personal foul, face mask, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Here's Peters right here. Kingsbury is going to go back, and he's going to look. He's going to fake. Looks to the right, looks to the left, and then comes to his outlet receiver. That's Allen right there with a poor effort of a tackle. Right there, it's either the face mask or a helmet. You cannot grab the back of the helmet either. They do that because they're concerned with the injury.
First and goal at the 8. They like Page on the fade sometimes down in this area. They're going to keep it on the ground this time, and they got to the 5. Good run by Munlin, and it gets them ever closer. Wilhelm, the inside linebacker, made the stop along with Will Smith.
When this offense spreads the field. And when you're down inside the 10-yard line, you don't have the deep throws, but you have the slants and the fades and the quick throws. So you spread them out left to right, not down the field.
Remember, Anton Page is way up to the top of your screen, number 1. He's 6'5". Here it comes. There's the fade. Couldn't get it. Fox stayed with him. Fox is thinking what we were thinking.
Everybody knew that was a possibility. The coaching staffs on both sides. Fox is only 6 feet, and Page is 6'4", but he did a nice job.
Good thing that helps Dustin Fox, a 42-inch vertical jumper, and he hung right with Page that time. So it's 3rd down and goal. 3 minutes, 34 seconds left in the half. And there's the two that go out to meet each other, and you can tell it from that picture right there. He's giving away some height. Kingsbury from the gun. They're going to blitz. Here they come. Flares it out to Munlin. Can he get there? Not quite. But he got to the 1. And now Mike Leach, who made a gutsy call on 4th and 2 earlier, and ended up with a 37-yard touchdown. What are you going to do, Coach? Kick a field goal or go for it?
See, this is where I think
timeout to talk about it.
Yeah,
that's what he wants
that's
to
a
do.
good move, first of all. But I think this is where when you use a spread offense, no tight ends and fullbacks.
I guess he didn't call a timeout. That was just a hand signal to tell Kingsbury what to do. They're going to put in 2 backs, McGuire and Hartfield.
Well, you got 17, 16 seconds on the play clock.
But it's Munlin who's still the man behind the quarterback, Kingsbury.
Single coverage.
Munlin. Wilhelm got him. Ohio State takes over. Matt Wilhelm says, no, not this time.
See, I think that's where you're disadvantaged when you only use wide receivers and you don't have tight ends and fullbacks and a short yardage power goal line, short yardage or goal line offense.
Media timeout.
Well, I guess we'll take a timeout. Just heard that over the PA. 2 minutes, 45 seconds, still halftime. Texas Tech comes up short. Wilhelm making his 22nd start, made a big tackle on that 4th down. Gives it back to his offense.
What Tech has to do now is get something out of this. Either take it away from him or stop him right here so the offense gets it back.
Ross got a big opening up the middle. And he's out to the 9. So they go from being in a tough spot to having some room to work. Going back, though, to that 4th down and about a yard at the goal line, guys, Swanee and Bob, both of you, that's not a situation you want to be in a hurry-up offense.
No, they were rushing. They should have taken a timeout. They've got timeouts to take. You never want to rush to the line of scrimmage. You look it over. They ran right where the linebackers were staying. Right here, Wilhelm and the other guy are right there. I mean, if you're a passing team, you want to do what you do best.
Just over 2 minutes left in the half now. And Ross again shakes free. And he says, you know what? I don't have to score touchdowns every time I carry it.
Well, and you don't need points here. All you need to do is run the time off the clock and get away from your own end zone.
And as Ohio State moves the ball away from their end zone, Bob and Brad, I just want to point out, I would have thought that Kingsbury, going back to that last play, having more experience as the quarterback, should have looked at that defensive set and said, okay, I know what the coach asked me to do. We need to change our minds here and go with something else.
And I just thought at the time that Mike was going to call a timeout, and apparently it was a hand signal for a play, because anything just to think it over would have given them a little better crack at it than what they had.
Well, they had problems getting substitutions in. Like I said, they were down to 5 seconds, 4 seconds on the clock when the ball was snapped. And I know from being there, you never want to be in a hurry.
Right.
You want to get up there where the defense looks at the clock at the other end of the field and says, boy, he's going to snap this ball, and he's in a hurry. You know, it's just not a good situation.
And now we do have a timeout.
Charge, Texas Tech, first
taken by the Red Raiders with 1:23 remaining in the half. Lawrence Flugents will go over and talk to Greg McMackin, the defensive coordinator. And this will give us a chance to remind you Monday night, Al Michaels and John Madden will be at historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Brett Favre, Ahman Green, and the Packers will host Tim Couch and the Cleveland Browns Monday night, live at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Always fun when you're at Lambeau.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be eating some brats and drinking some beverages.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful day right now. Unless maybe you're an offensive lineman, it really is better than it has been most of this week. Very muggy on Thursday and Friday. And there's offensive coordinator for the Buckeyes,
Jim Bowman.
Jim Bowman also coaches the offensive line, and he's got the big eaters around him right now, telling them what to do and what not to do. They've done a nice job today, especially opening up holes for the running backs.
Stepanovich is the center, the guy that took the place of LaCharles Bentley, who went on, was a high draft choice, starting right now for the New Orleans Saints. And Stepanovich has filled in for him very nicely.
Yes, he has.
Done a really nice job.
Charles, we understand, starting at guard for them, not center down in New Orleans. Craig Krenzel's done a nice job today, I thought. And when we talked to him yesterday, didn't seem rattled at all by the fact that he was making his first ever start at home. He says, once I get out there, I really don't hear anybody unless you throw a touchdown pass. Goal after graduation is medical school, and he has operated pretty well today. His brother played at Duke, and bright young fella, knows the game. Second down at 6. Ross again out to the 25, almost the 26-yard line, as Ohio State's comfortable with a 2-touchdown lead, about not getting too fancy here.
Timeout. Charge Texas Tech. Second charge timeout of the half.
So Texas Tech takes its second timeout, trying to now prevent a third down and hope to get the football back.
Krenzel is, what is he, 7 of 9? Yeah, 7 of 9, 60 yards. And,
his 2 rushes were the most impressive thing.
Yeah, he's run the ball 3 times for like 36 yards, but done a nice job running the offense. And
hit 5 different receivers out of those 7 completions, so he's mixing it up, and that'll keep you in good graces with your offensive teammates. 1:12 left in the half. Ohio State leading 21-7. Coming up next Sunday, ABC Sports Holiday Weekend Bash presented by AT&T Wireless will continue. Number 13 LSU takes on number 16 Virginia Tech Hokies. That's next Sunday live at 2:30 Eastern. Grant Knoll will see if his knee holds up. In that one, we certainly hope so for him.
That'll be a good ball game. LSU going up to play the Hokies at Virginia Tech. Nick Saban had a great year last year, didn't he? Coming on and winning the
SEC championship.
SEC.
At the 25. Third down along 3. Red Raiders would love to come up with a stop. Unbalanced line, 2 tight ends, and again they run away from that unbalanced line and they stop him. Ross hit by Mike Smith, the outside linebacker. So
timeout.
They'll take their last timeout and they will get the football back.
Third and final timeout of the half.
And depending on the punt, they might get lucky enough to be near midfield with about 50 seconds to go.
They're sending Wes Welker back. He's had 3 punt return for touchdowns in his career, so they've returned a bunch of balls. Like you say, they've returned kickoffs for touchdowns last year also.
The only guy that's returned more punts for touchdowns in Big 12 history is David Allen at Kansas State. Remember him?
I sure do.
Every time he touched it, you held your breath.
Excitement.
Well, we've got a moment here with the Buckeyes up 21-7. Let's go to New York for an update on an upcoming show.
Sydney Bristow was the girl next door and just what they needed.
All he told me was that I fit a profile.
They took her in, trained her, then dropped her in a world where she had no one to trust.
Get in! Daddy?
Not even her own father.
I thought you sold airplane parts.
Or mother.
Mom?
There's never been a better time.
There's been a hit put out on Sydney. I'm getting her out of there.
To leap into the adventure.
Here's the punt. Welker camps under it at the 31. Let's see what he can do. Trying to give ground to gain ground, and he only gave. He didn't receive. Dropped at the 30.
Good coverage.
Donnie Nicky, Wilhelm, couple of starters down there from the defense help out on the stop. And so the Texas Tech Red Raiders are 70 yards from another score, 69 actually, with 55 seconds and no timeouts left. So a long ways to go and a short time to get there, trailing 21-7. Kingsbury again from the gun. 4 receivers. Thought about a shovel pass. Maybe that's what just blew up in his face. I don't know. Comes back to the near side of Peters, and he's out of bounds, but only a pickup of about 3. That looked like he was going to shovel it inside, Bob, for a second.
It did for a second.
They do get out of bounds, though, to stop the clock. Remember, they're out of timeouts, having used them all to force the punt. And it's 2nd down and 7. That might be irrelevant at this point with 46 seconds left. They've got to move it down the field in a hurry and try to give their field goal kicker Mike Nugent a shot at a long one. Robert Treese, rather, not Nugent. They go down the middle, bobbled, and then caught, and then hammered is Torian Henderson. And now the clock will continue to run. C. Grant made the stop.
Absolutely.
And they have to hustle up. 30 seconds left in the half. 3rd down and 1. It's 2-down territory here. The clock winding down. They're going to have to hustle. Quick snap. Kingsbury in trouble again. Throws. Let's see. Was he inbounds? Yes. First down catch. And then getting out of bounds with 16 seconds left was Carlos Francis. So they got about 2 more cracks at it here.
Mike Leach signaling the plays in. That's the quickest way. Since you call them, you signal them yourself, and it gets right to the quarterback. A lot of times you can tell him not only the play, but who you want to throw to, and maybe even a defensive lookout. Look out for this, or watch out for this.
16 ticks to work with. Kingsbury sets up, has to scramble again. Almost sacked, and now going to his left, trying to hustle for whatever he can get. And that wasted 8 seconds, more than that. In fact, it wasted 11 seconds as he's run out of bounds at midfield.
Not only that, it's a hot day, and it's wasting a lot of energy.
Yeah, that's right.
Out of Kingsbury. I mean, he's going to be a tired puppy.
Timeout. Charge Ohio State. First charge timeout of the half.
Ohio State will take their first timeout. Remember, Texas Tech is out of timeout, so this will give Ohio State a chance to talk things over defensively, trying to prevent any kind of easy Hail Mary touchdown pass here. Texas Tech, when Mike Leach came in 99, they ranked 85th in the country in passing, but the last 2 seasons they've gone from 11th to 5th. He likes to throw it around, and they do so with a lot of efficiency. Today it's been a struggle, though, because this Ohio State defense has been up to the task.
Yeah, well, the flip side of that, too, is you're 5th in the nation passing. You're 113th in rushing.
That ain't good.
You know, you don't run the ball very well, and when you're on the 2-yard line or the 1-yard line trying to get it in, you try to rush it in. I mean, I hate to criticize. He knows more about his offense than I do, but I just think a timeout, sit down, talk about it, and get our best play run at that time.
I don't think that Texas Tech has enough time to get a pass completed and give Treese a chance for a long field goal. So you would assume that this is going to be either a hook and ladder deal or a Hail Mary down one side or the other. Maybe put trips to one side and throw back to the other guy the other way. But 5 seconds is all they have to work with.
They practice trick plays all the time.
Here's the trips down to the right side, and that's where Kingsbury's looking. And he's going to load it and go that way and hope for a fortuitous bounce. And he overshot everybody. Boy, showed his arm, threw it right in the end zone. Nobody got to it, not even the defense. So in one half of play, Ohio State at home has been impressive, especially with their ground game and their defense. They lead 21-7 right now as they head to the locker room, and we go down to Swanee with the leading coach. Lynn.
Thank you, Brad. Coach, that first half on the surface, I'm sure it looks like everything was perfect. You'll look at tape later on. But for the second half, will you continue to go with your quarterback, or will you just take the time to look at someone else?
Well, you know, it'll be interesting as it goes. The most important thing is what the team needs, and we're going to evaluate as we go from there. You know, I think the kids have played well. You never have enough points against Texas Tech. You know, they're a scrapping bunch, but I'm really proud of the way our kids are playing hard.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brad?
All right, fellas, it is halftime at the Pigskin Classic in Columbus. And our halftime score, Ohio State 21 and Texas Tech 7. Coming up next, the Valvoline halftime show live from here in Columbus.
Sometimes, however, it needs a 7th diesel. The Ford Super Duty Power Stroke. It's packed with 525 pound-feet of torque, more than any truck of its kind on Earth. Ford F-Series, the world's best-selling truck 25 years running, has no boundaries.
I'm the grand poobah.
Every father thinks he's the boss, and every kid thinks it's his job to knock him off his throne. And as for his wife,
I'm doing it for us.
I sure hope us is going to be happy sleeping on the couch.
Well, no matter who's the boss, Wednesdays this summer you get a double dose of Damon to Love and a whole new season of My Wife and Kids this fall on ABC.
Come on. Yeah, I'm still in the car. 10 minutes, an hour, I've got no idea. This is ridiculous.
Can't wait to get your new Jetta? And with the offers going on now, why would you?
Which will prove longer lasting? The ageless creations of nature itself? Or the enduring craftsmanship of Andersen windows? Only time will tell. Andersen Windows. Long live the home.
Should we get the leather?
Mr. Dillon? Hey, it's me, Bob from Kia. Bob? You get this free with your test drive. It's awesome. Thanks. See you later.
Get a free copy of The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, when you test drive any new Kia and look for the Sorrento coming this fall.
Continuing team coverage of the murders in Kentucky all this weekend on 9 News.
Just about set to start the third quarter. Maurice Clarett, the freshman who's been sensational so far in his debut in that Buckeye helmet. I got a feeling he's going to have a few of those Buckeyes on that silver helmet before it's all done. Our Pacific Life game summary as we take a look at the first half statistically. And, you know, they always say you got to be able to run the football. I don't know if you necessarily always have to run the football, but you got to get more than 16 yards.
Mike Leach not worried about balance. He never has been worried about balance. Ohio State does it on the ground. Texas Tech does it through the air. Total yards almost even, about 40 yards in favor of Ohio State. No turnovers. And both quarterbacks playing pretty well.
Greathouse will kick off. This will be fielded by Maurice Hall at the 5. And he's brought down. Nice open field stop at the 20-yard line. Josh Saldi made the tackle. And Craig Krenzel set to come out. His numbers, he didn't have to win it. He just had to do some efficient work, and he did that.
Made some good throws to pick up first downs, scrambled a couple times to pick up first downs, got him in the right plays, just calmed everybody down, got it going. He's a fourth-year junior. He's a redshirt junior, so he's been around for 4 years, so he knows everybody, he knows the system, and he's played very well.
And he'll start just outside his own 20-yard line. Clarett at the tailback spot. Maurice Hall is in there with him. Clarett, a big opening off the right side. Last time he took it the distance. Nope, that's Hall, excuse me. Maurice Hall. Maurice, I want to give you your props. I beg your pardon. And he at 17, 18 yards before he's brought down.
Watch the offensive line blocking over here on this side. That's an 18-yard gain. That's Olivier and Bishop. Just stand their men up, and then the running back just finds the hole. That's just the area block. You block who's in the area, and then you just find the running back finds the hole.
Hey, Bob, you even got a receiver downfield blocking.
All right, I like that.
You like that? At the 38-yard line, first down, Ohio State. Tight end in motion. Hamby sets up on the right side. And the stretch play, boy, they almost lost it that time, as Maurice Hall dropped by Marquise Turner. Almost a miss handoff between quarterback and tailback there.
Yeah, Turner and Aycock, that's a linebacker and a strong safety. So Greg McMacken getting after. We mentioned early on that he likes to attack. Well, he's coming out the second half, and he's mixing it up with some linebackers and some safeties.
Second down at the 33. Jenkins on a quick hitch, and he turns it into a big play. Jenkins down to the 46-yard line. Ricky Saylor brought him down.
First drive of the second half is always critical, and I think it's more important to Texas Tech because they're down by 14 points.
Yep.
They talk about defensively coming out and stopping them on the first drive, and this pass right here is big because it doesn't allow Texas Tech to get the stop and to turn the ball over.
Jenkins has him a first down at the 45 of Texas Tech. Again, the tight end on the move, and the handoff. Clarett, and he's in the open field. Goodbye, Maurice. Touchdown, Buckeyes. Much the same play as his first long one of 59. The freshman goes 45 yards for the touchdown.
I think it was very similar to the play he scored on, Brad.
Sure looked like it, didn't it?
Here it is. Here they're going to block down, and the guard and the offensive guard Stafford is going to come and kick out. Stafford, number 50, gets through the hole. Clarett follows him, says, "I'm staying with my man," and he just outruns the safety.
Nugent in for the point after. Up and good. Less than 2 minutes into the third quarter. The star, the young star, continues to shine. He's having a huge day. 45-yard touchdown. It is 28-7 Buckeyes.
Introducing the totally new 2003 Ford Expedition. It's the only full-size SUV with independent rear suspension for superior control and a smoother ride. The totally new Ford Expedition. Think about it the next time you go for a little drive in the rain. It has no equal. It has no boundaries.
Log on to our website and learn more about new Mobile One with Super SIN anti-wear technology.
Hi, you must be Tammy's blind date. I'm Spike, her twin brother. Twin brother, twin brother, twin brother, twin brother. Tammy, your date's here! Hey, can I offer you a Bud Light?
Sure.
Here you go.
Hi.
Hi.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
You smell good.
Honey, I think I broke the washing machine.
Huh. How'd you do that?
Sledgehammer.
Time for a new appliance? Get it now at the Home Depot. Like this super capacity washer dryer set for only $4.98, or this refrigerator freezer for only $7.99. Plus get free delivery on appliances of $3.99 or more. It's going on right now at the Home Depot and Expo Design Center.
The defective detective drives criminals nuts, and he knows just how they feel.
I'm Monica, and you are?
Me.
Monk.
Monk, Tuesday, 9/8 Central on ABC.
Not often do you start your first college football game as the first game ever as an 18-year-old freshman. Very seldom do you average 11 yards a carry and score 2 touchdowns, and we still got a long ways to go. That's Maurice Clarett and what he's done for the Ohio State Buckeyes today as he made history as the first freshman ever to start the first game of the year. Archie Griffin started the 3rd game of his first year and went for 239. Robert Smith, the 2nd game of his career, went for 176. I'm telling you, those 2 things are in some serious danger right now. And Archie won 2 Heisman trophies, and Robert Smith was an all-pro with the Vikings.
He's in good company right there, isn't he?
Yep.
And they've had some other guys here, Eddie George and some other running backs that really didn't get anywhere near the field on their first game or their freshman season.
Here's a high short kick to the 12. Henderson broke a tackle, trying to get outside. They're not going to let him. They'll drag him down at the 21, and it was 21. Nate Sally, a freshman defensive back who the Buckeyes are very high on, getting his feet wet today too. Big smile on Maurice Clarett. Why not? So now the onus is on number 16, Cliff Kingsbury. He's got to start playing like a senior and a Heisman hopeful if they're going to have any chance to get back in this game.
Well, they've been in this situation before. I mean, they've gotten blown out by Texas and some of the big boys out in the Big 12. He's averaging 45 to 50 passes a game, so they're going to come out and just wing it. They're going to go out and just try and score points.
Again from the gun, 4 receivers. Here comes a corner blitz from Doss. They're blitzing from everywhere, and that would have been a big gainer had Peters held on.
Yeah. Yeah. That somebody needs to make a play to get this thing going for Tech. I don't know if that ball was deflected just before it got to him or not. It looked like one of the defensive linemen came back.
It's kind of like in watching Wisconsin and Fresno State last night. You kept saying that, you know, Brooks Bollinger has some pretty good numbers of his receivers that hold out.
Yeah.
They finally did when they had to, but it was their defense and their ground game that won it for them. 2nd down and 10. Kingsbury trying to go back the other way, and now scrambles for what he can. And run out of bounds by C. Grant, the linebacker. It'll be 3rd down.
Been very impressed, Ohio State defensively, and the scheme that they've used, they've mixed it up. They've played a 4-man line with some zone. They've played a 3-man line and blitzed some zone blitzes, and then they've gone man coverage in the secondary. So they've given him a good mixture of zone and man and 3-man line, 4-man line, and you got to give your hats off to Mark D'Antonio, the defensive coordinator, for devising this scheme.
He told us we have to make Kingsbury uncomfortable. I think they've accomplished that. 3rd down, a long 7. Kingsbury fires, got a man. 1st down. Out near the 39-yard line, Carlos Francis. He's the guy on a play somewhat similar to that, only it was a quicker slant that scored the only touchdown of the day for the Red Raiders. Will Smith put the pressure on Kingsbury again. They're not making it easy for him, but at least they keep their drive moving.
Well, this is the first drive offensively for the Red Raiders in the 2nd half, so they've had a chance to settle down, talk about what the other team is doing, move the ball.
Torian Henderson the lone setback. And he'll get the toss. Nice blocking, the point of attack, and he breaks free inside the 50. He's got Fox to beat, and Fox got some help over there, and they run him out of bounds. C. Grant, the linebacker, who's got great speed, got back to bump Henderson out of bounds, but he got 29 yards.
Yeah, Henderson does this all on his own. He just gets some blocking first of all, gets through the line of scrimmage, and then just uses his ability. It's a toss. Everybody's on their man. Now he just sees a gap. Now he cuts all the way back. And Grant, number 6, is going to catch him from behind. And Fox is just kind of holding him up till he gets some help.
Torian's a redshirt freshman. Spent last year on the scout team as a partial qualifier. Big play there down to the 32. Kingsbury, look out! See Grant. And right now Kingsbury's seeing red.
Doing a nice job of mixing this coverage up in the defensive lineup. That was a 3-man line with a linebacker on the end of the line blitzing. Top of the screen right here. I think he was supposed to be picked up by the back. Right here, the back just lets him go. Kingsbury thinks that he's blocked, and he feels like, well, I've got protection there until he gets hit.
And Torian was thinking getting out in the pass pattern, and C. Grant was thinking about trying to take number 16 down, which he did.
Yeah.
Sacked 3 times now. And backed up to a 2nd and 19. Kingsbury, quicker toss this time out. Welker on the run. Boy, did he get knocked out of bounds, and it was a little later, a little too strong. Flag flies in. It's going to be a personal foul. Mike Doss was over there to help on the hit. He might have been the guy that was a little overly aggressive.
Welker was the Oklahoma High School Player of the Year. There you go. Face mask, personal foul.
It's a 3rd face mask penalty on the Buckeyes today. Welker makes a nice catch there, and here comes Doss. Yep,
personal foul, face
4.
mask on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Mike got him and either didn't let go or couldn't let go.
Doss is one of the best players in the country, probably the best strong safety that you're going to find. They don't do this on purpose. He's just trying to grab him high around his neck so he doesn't lose him and doesn't slip out of him. Just grabbed his face mask inadvertently.
Trying this year to become the 7th 3-time All-American in Ohio State history. Kingsbury wanted a quick throw. Now he's got to improvise. And he does go to the end zone, and it's intercepted. Dustin Fox, how did he make that play?
Oh, it was way underthrown. He had the receiver in the end zone. He just underthrew it.
He got outfoxed.
A hit. He got outfoxed is right.
It looked like he was going to have an easy touchdown, but number 37 had a different idea.
Kingsbury may be running out of gas. Let's go ahead and run it, and then I'll ask you to stop it down the road here. He's looking to his right, looking right now. He comes back to the left. Now he's running, trying to scramble. If you stop it right there, hold. The receiver is in the end zone. If he throws it deep to the end zone, he's got it. But Fox, he underthrew the ball, and Fox made the interception.
Nehemiah Glover was wide open. Fox with the pick, and Ohio State with the ball.
Kingsbury was running around, scrambling around, comes up the middle, then he goes out to his left. Now he sees somebody in the end zone and just doesn't get him the ball.
His eyes, you can bet, got as big as saucers right here, but he didn't put enough air under.
Yeah, he just didn't throw it. He'll be thinking about that one for a while.
And Bob, if you notice that footwork, he's going the opposite direction he likes to roll out in. He's trying to throw across his body. He almost would have to stop, set his feet to throw that pass from where he was.
Well, he did get his shoulders turned, so he was in good shape to throw it. He just didn't throw it hard enough.
2nd and 9 for the Buckeyes. Clarett got about 9. Over 150 yards for the freshman. Out near the 30-yard line, just inches short of a first down. Jack Tucker in there as the fullback, number 48 in front of number 13. 3rd down, a couple of feet. Clarett got the first, throws a stiff arm and goes out of bounds at the 34.
You know, Brad, the thing I like about Clarett is his patience. A lot of freshmen would get in there and just take the ball and just run right up the back if something's not there. But he's got good eyes, good vision, and he's got patience. He says, all right, let me get the ball. Now, am I supposed to run? All right, it's not there. I'm going to slide outside. I'm just good patience, and that is key for a good running back.
Jim Bowman, the offensive coordinator, said, I've only been around 2 other guys who understood the game and picked things up this quickly. Terry Kirby at Virginia and Cedric Irvin at Michigan State. Yeah. Good company.
Yes.
Tressel throwing on the run. Got him. Jenkins slides out of bounds. First down, Buckeyes at the 47 of Texas Tech. Craig smiling. He's having fun.
You know, there's a lot of talent at the skill positions for Ohio State. Just not a lot of experience. At the quarterback position, not a lot of experience. Running backs, not a lot of experience. But they're getting a lot of it today.
At the 47, first down. Jenkins trots out to the left side. Gamble in a slot the same way. Craig Tressel looking left, going complete. Got it to Gamble. It's going to be another first down. Or very close. Chris Gamble needed to get inside the 37, and they're going to put it right about there. Coming up tonight at 7:30 Eastern and Pacific, Louisville, Kentucky battles Worcester, Mass for the U.S. Championship of the Little League World Series presented by Honda. The winner takes out either Japan or the Netherlands Antilles tomorrow night at 6:30 Eastern and Pacific in the World Championship. ABC Sports Championship Television. Brent will be along to bring you that game.
Did you see that game the other night with Louisville? It went to 11 innings.
The 49 strikeout job?
Yeah.
Wow.
Boy.
Aaron Elvey, the winning pitcher, and you had to feel sorry for the losing pitcher who struck out 21.
Yeah, it was a regular 6-inning game. Had 2 no-hitters were pitched.
Yeah, it was amazing. First and 10, just inside the 37. Delay to Hall. Maurice Hall to the 33. Lawrence Flugents, the captain and middle linebacker, made the hit. And right now, Ohio State's got everything working their way. They're up by 21. They know they can go to the ground game. They don't have to use the pass except when they want to in a play-action situation or if they want to try to hit a home run. But right now, they're working beautifully with 8.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And they don't have to go to class for a month. No homework for a month.
You and Swanee said to Craig Tressel, you guys could still have 2-a-days. And he said, theoretically. Here's Clarett. And he's going to have another first down, it appears. Down to the 26-yard line. I mentioned Maurice will not turn 19 until late October. But he came in after his sensational high school career as a parade All-American, Mr. Football in the state of Ohio. Almost 2,200 yards last year as a senior. And graduated high school in December so he could start his classes at Ohio State in his winter conditioning. What you do there then is you get to go through spring practice, and more kids, if they're smart enough and can handle the academic load in high school to get through there, try to do this, because you get in that spring practice, now you got a shot, as good a shot as anybody, and he's taking his shots today. Tell me.
Well, there is no way that he could be out here doing what he's doing if he had just come to Ohio State in August, or July or August. He's been through a whole spring practice. He's been with the guys in the summer, learning the plays, showing them that he's concerned about not only running the ball, but his blocking assignments and who blocks. You know, I want to block for the fullback. You know, what's the best way to do this? So he's concerned about everybody, just not himself.
Current drive has carried 56 yards in 8 plays, chewing up some clock. And now coming up on the 9th play of the drive with a 2nd down and 10. Tressel straight drop. And now has to roll on the run. Got away from a would-be sack and goes out of bounds. A little bit behind the line of scrimmage, I believe. Adele Duckett and Aaron Hunt were given chase. And Hunt, who already today has a sack to become the all-time sack leader in Texas Tech history. Yeah. Running all over the field out there, still playing at his maximum that you can on a day that's starting to get warm here in the third quarter. At the 28-yard line, it is 3rd down. 3rd and 12. Jenkins goes out there, trots out to the top of your picture. And Krenzel off play action is looking that way and going that way, but quarterback and receiver had two different ideas.
Yeah.
Jenkins ran it out, and Krenzel threw it out and up, I guess.
What happens there is the defense determines the route you run, and Krenzel ran it one way, and the receiver ran it another way. In other words, if it's a bump and run, I'm going to run this route. If he's off, I'm going to run another route, and they read it differently.
So Ohio State is going to try a long field goal. Mike Nugent comes in. Last year he was only 50% on his field goals. His career long is 44, and this one's 45. He had a very, very good preseason camp, though. Had one scrimmage where he went 10 for 10 and kind of caught the attention of his teammates. He'll have more attention if he hits this on the way. Got it with plenty to go. Mike Nugent knocks it through from 45, and the Buckeyes add to their lead. 6 minutes, 46 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Long field goal, and they're up 31-7. Presentation of college football brought to you by Ford. No boundaries. Miller Lite. Life is best told at a place called Miller Time. And Shell. At the Horseshoe, packed house. First game in Tressel we trust, and their trust has been rewarded so far today as his team leads 31-7. And Jim Tressel, a longtime native of this state and longtime Youngstown State head coach. 4 times he won national titles at that division of football, and here in his second year in Columbus. Nice kick. 9 yards deep again. McCann's going to bring it. Last time he got a good return. This time not quite as good, but he got it out across the 20.
Well, normally they tell you if you're more than 2 or 3 yards in the end zone to stay in the end zone.
Yep. And a flag at the end of the play, so he might end up with a good return after all. The return was pretty impressive, plus the late hit is going to put Texas Tech out in some nice field position near the 40 probably by the time they walk it off.
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, automatic first down, 15-yard penalty.
Mike DeAndrea, one of those freshman linebackers who they wanted to get a lot of time on special teams today, and Matt Wilhelm saying, youngster, you know, hitting somebody's good, but hitting them 4 yards out of bounds is only going to get us a flag. Boy, they're high on this kid too, though. They've got some freshman linebackers that you just can't believe when you see them, how big they are and how mature they are. And how good they're going to be, say the coaches.
They've got 7 defensive true freshmen on the 2 deep, and they're high on all of them.
Here comes a blitz from the corner. Kingsbury trying to throw back the other way, and just the pressure of Doss putting the heat on him, and he just had a bad throw.
Doss was everywhere last year. He had 3 sacks, 10 tackles for loss. That led the ball club. He's a strong safety. He doesn't normally rush the passer.
It looks to me now like Cliff Kingsbury, Bob, is just getting a little bit shaken up, and he might be getting tired, and things are not going his way.
It's a hot day. He's been chased around a lot. He's been hit a lot. I think that last interception that Fox picked off over there just showed that he's getting a little tired.
Here's a toss. Torian Henderson stretched out by Will Smith. He didn't make the tackle, but boy, played it beautifully from his defensive end spot. He just kept stretching that thing out, and Henderson couldn't find a corner.
Will Smith said, don't bring that stuff over here. You'll go the other way.
He's had a heck of a game.
He has.
I asked Will Smith if he could rap, if he could sing a little bit, guys. You know, he says, no, I can't sing, but I've got some moves.
Yeah,
I can dance.
I can dance a little.
Well, we've seen a few of them this afternoon.
He's moving.
He's got some good feet. We talked to him about the freshman on this Ohio State roster, and he said, you know what, I played as a freshman too. I remember being in that situation. 3rd down 11 for Kingsbury from the gun, and he'll be under the gun, it appears. Here comes a blitz. And down he goes. C. Grant, the linebacker.
Just ran over the blocking back.
Right through Henderson.
Yep.
Second sack for Grant.
Grant on a blitz. Here's Grant right here. He's just going to run right over the blocking back. Right there, Henderson slides over.
Who?
And he says, "Hey, get out of my way, son. I'm on some business here.
I'm on a mission." Punt coming up from Greathouse. High kick this time, hangs up there well. And Gamble across midfield, inside the 40. With a 31-7 lead, sometimes you can take a chance, and it paid off. 31-yard punt, but a 26-yard return. Ohio State 31, the Red Raiders 7. The 13-yard line. From one Maurice to another. If Maurice Chevalier shows up, we got everybody.
Well, it's behind the right side over there, Bishop and Olivier, the right guard and the right tackle. Hartsock is the tight end. The wide receivers get in there, throw a block every now and then. Carter, number 8.
You notice that Hall and Ross are saying, "I know the freshman's really good, but I want to play."
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ross in there right now. 263 yards for Ohio State. This is Ross going to the left side and lost a little bit that time. Flugents in on the stop. So it's going to bring up second down at about 12.
I've been impressed with the offensive line. Ohio State done a nice job protecting the passer, but more importantly, Bishop and Olivier on that right side. Stepanovic playing center for the first time this year, the leader of that group, and then Mike Stafford, the left guard, making his first start ever.
Tressel swings it at Clarett on a swing pass, got a nice block, put his head down, and he rumbles down to about the 8-yard line. I don't know if this is shades of Archie Griffin, but I know one thing: he's down with Swanee on the sideline.
Yeah, we've got Archie down here, and Archie's Heismans are tucked away in that trophy, but they're getting a little lonely. Not to say that we're going to push him for that young man right now, but how impressed are you with Maurice Clarett?
Oh, very impressed. It doesn't surprise me, though. He was a guy that was truly outstanding in high school. He came here early in the winter quarter, and he worked out with the team, and he worked out during the spring, did an excellent job. And now he's showing what he's all about. He's doing a great job.
Bob and Brad and I have been talking about him and saying wonderful things about him. But people don't understand what he's doing is very rare for a freshman.
Oh, it really is. To do it in a game like this against Texas Tech, his first college game, very special.
And the power. I mean, he's broken away from people, run away from people. Even in his first carry, and that last carry right there, we're seeing tremendous leg power for an 18-year-old kid.
Oh, he really is. Now, he's about 230 pounds, a strong young man, and he's got a tremendous work ethic. So it really doesn't surprise me at all. We've got a lot of things to see from Maurice Clarett.
Now, 230 as a tailback. Could he be a 245-pound fullback in 3 years?
He could probably be, but he's going to stay a tailback, I think.
Thanks, Archie.
Okay.
I don't know if he'll have 2 Heisman trophies or his own bobblehead doll, which Archie has today here at the stadium, but what a start. 170 yards, 10 yards a pop, and 2 touchdowns. And of course, there are 6 Heisman trophies over at the Woody Hayes Center, starting with Les Horvath through Vic Janowitz, Hopalong Cassidy, 2 for Griffin, 1 for Eddie George. Lydell Ross down near the goal line. So they have had some running backs in the history of this school, and this kid is the next one. The next great one, it appears. And here he comes, and listen to the crowd. They want to give him the rock at the 1, I think.
Well, he's done everything except scored a touchdown. Well, he's got one of those, too.
He's got 2 long ones, but he has no short ones.
There you go.
I just wonder if number 13 might not get the ball here.
See, he's counting to see if there's enough guys on the field. He's that aware.
Second down and goal. Clarett. Not this time. Flugents is there to bring him down. And there's Archie, a 2-time Heisman Trophy winner, a guy who splashed on the scene in his first start. As we told you, it was his 3rd game, not his first game ever, and he went over 200. And Clarett, should he play the 4th quarter, that record would be in some jeopardy.
Hey, guys, I'm going to jump back in here with Archie real quick. Archie, what does a running back with his ability do for an offensive line?
oh, it gives them all the confidence in the world. They know that if they give him a crease, he's going to make something happen, and that just makes him work extremely hard. It's great for the offensive line.
Third and goal, touchdown. He's in. That's number 3. Not a bad day at the office.
Not a bad way to start.
Look at that smile. That tells it all right there.
Good job.
Archie, the assistant athletic director here at Ohio State. He's not just here as a fan. He's here all the time. Extra point right down the middle for Mike Nugent. I don't know. They might have to create the Clarett jug. Jim Tressel will be kissing it right now, wouldn't he? 38-7. And he's got 3 touchdowns, including this one from a little over a yard out, capping a 33-yard drive in 7 plays.
Well, he's meeting the middle linebacker, Flugents, one of the best players on the defense. Hits him and takes him in the end zone with him.
$38-7 is our score here. We know the Little League World Series will be much closer than that coming up later on tonight. With more on that, let's go to Brent Musburger. Brent.
Brad, neither Massachusetts nor Kentucky has ever won the national championship. Both advanced to the title game in dramatic fashion. For Worcester, Mass, it was a walk-off home run in the 6th.
Deep to right field.
Hello, Louisville. And Louisville features this year's cover boy, Zach Osborne, slugger, and tonight's starting pitcher for Kentucky. He shut out New York in his only other start. The U.S. Championship begins at 7:30 Eastern, Brad.
All right, Brent, we'll see you tonight. And then see you next week in the Kickoff Classic.
Did you play Little League Baseball?
Yep.
I did too.
Wasn't as good as those guys, I'll tell you that.
I loved it. I really loved it. I played baseball all the way up. Played Pony League, Colt League, they called it. American Legion, Connie Mack. We had a Connie Mack League. And all my boys played Corey League. They called it down in South Florida. They called it Corey League.
We know when your basketball career ended, when Rip Mount showed up at Purdue. Here's McCann. You know only 7 yards deep he's going to bring it out. And straight up the seam. And he got across the 30. This is a fearless kick returner.
I tell you what, he's done that 3 or 4 times, and he's gotten it good yardage every time. And I've looked ahead of him to see where the offense, the guys are blocking, and everybody's got holding their block. So this is it's a well-coached return.
Next Saturday, holiday weekend bash presented by AT&T Wireless begins at noon Eastern. Washington and Michigan will get together. We'll be there to see that one. And at 3:30, you'll either see Virginia and Florida State or Illinois and Missouri. Then in prime time, it's Notre Dame and Maryland in the Kickoff Classic. ABC Sports online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. They're just going to blitz Cliff Kingsbury mercilessly now. He gets it out to Anton Page, and Page got about 8 out to the 40. Buckeyes with a big lead can just pin their ears back now and say, okay, let's go get him.
Well, the thing you want to do is you've got a lot of players that have worked hard in preseason practice. Now you have an opportunity to get some of those backups in the game, right, especially these true freshmen, these 7 true freshmen that are backups on defense.
Second down, short 2 for Texas Tech. Kingsbury wanted to throw the quick out, and he got hammered. Mike DeAndrea, one of the guys Bob just talked about, freshman linebacker, and Kenny Peterson, a senior. The young and the old of it combined on the sack.
Well, what causes him to pull this ball down is the coverage on the outside. And there's Peterson and DeAndrea right there. But credit the corner for the coverage that allowed that sack.
So another sack backs it up to a 3rd down and 6. Kingsbury will be under center. Again, the blitz. They pick this one up, but the pocket collapses again right on the quarterback. Darian Scott's got him wrapped up, and Tim Anderson's there to help.
Now when you blitz, you put single coverage downfield. Kingsbury had time to throw it initially and didn't do it, so there was coverage downfield. That was what you hear called the coverage sack.
So shaken quarterback heads to the sideline. And the third quarter comes to a close. All Buckeyes here in Columbus in the Pigskin Classic. 38-7 our score. An ABC Sports presentation of college football. Return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Start the fourth quarter, 38-7 Ohio State. And Texas Tech will have to punt it away to start the fourth and final stanza. With Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan and our ABC crew, Brad Nessler with you from the Horseshoe in Columbus. Clinton Greathouse with a punt. Gamble will take it at the 20. Broke a couple tackles, still on his feet, spins his way for about a 13-yard return. Nice run back by Chris Gamble. And Ohio State will take over offensively with a big lead, and looks like we're going to see the number 2 quarterback, Scott McMullen.
I think it's a good move. He hasn't played a lot either. He started one game last year when Belisari was suspended. McMullen was the first guy to get a shot at the starting job, and then Tressel went in for the last 2. But if anything should happen, I mean, you need to have more than one guy. This game is decided. I would be, if Tressel should say, geez, I'm thankful that I can get my other guy in there, get him some work.
And Bobby gets to go with the starting offensive line.
Yeah.
Not the backups.
Yeah.
Give it off to Lydell Ross, and Aaron Hunt tracks him down. No gain on the play, may have lost a little.
The thing you don't want to do is put him in and just let him hand off. You want to let him get back, throw the ball a little bit. Not trying to run the score up or anything, but you just, something may happen down the road where you may need 2 quarterbacks. Well,
you look at Scott McMullen and Craig Tressel, and their career statistics combined coming in would probably be like a game and a half for Cliff Kingsbury as far as throwing the football.
Total, I think they had 3 touchdown passes and 5 interceptions. Total.
Craig looked good today, though. Now Scott gets his chance on 2nd down and 11 and fires, and in and out of the hands. Looked like Drew Carter just lost that thing or didn't see it coming. It was thrown a bit behind him, but was catchable. Trentzel's laughing about it. Craig is the captain today, by the way, offensively, and Jim Tressel has said that he'll choose a captain on a weekly basis for his offense, whereas his defense, he knows pretty much who the guys are there. Michael Doss and Donnie Nicky are his defensive captains all year long.
2 safeties.
3 wideouts for Scott. Maurice Hall, the single setback. Here comes the pressure. Swings it out. Ross got a couple blockers in front. Maurice Hall out to the 49-yard line. Another good gain for that Maurice. 17 on the reception.
That's a well-designed play. It's a little slip screen. Watch the 2 linemen on the right side right here. They're going to take off to the right side. Olivier and Bishop, they're leading the way. And little swing pass. Bishop, make yourself thin and allow the guy to get by you.
I don't know there's such a thing as thin right there.
His father played in the NFL for a few years.
The 48. Clarett's back in there and goes close to the Texas Tech 48, so a pickup of about 3. Mike Smith made the tackle, and Ohio State back on Texas Tech's end of the field.
We asked several different players about Clarett, the freshman, and how he was responding and everything, and more often than not, the word you heard was impressed.
Right.
And how he carried himself.
Exactly.
We met him yesterday afternoon, and what a nice young man. Very, very not cocky, but very, very sure of himself. Very humble, very outgoing. Just was very confident in the situation that he's in.
Well, it was funny while we were talking to Coach Tressel and the offensive coordinators. The phone in Jim's office rang about 4 times, and obviously he didn't answer because he was talking to us. So at the time when we were about done meeting with him, Maurice came in introduced himself to us, said, "Coach, did you get my message?" He said, "No, I haven't checked my messages. What's the message?" And he said, "I was stuck in traffic." And he said, "If you don't get out to practice, you're going to be the first freshman ever to not start his first game when he could have in Buckeye history." Third down and 4. Flags fly in.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yep.
Substitution infraction on the offense. They broke the huddle with 12 men. 5-yard penalty.
And you can't do that.
But there is no doubt that Jim Tressel is going to have a big impact. They talk about the Sooner Nation. This is the Buckeye Nation.
Yep.
Ohio State football is back, and it's back in a big way, and primarily because of that man right there. And not only because of the way that he coaches and recruits, but it's the man that he is. It's the way he treats his players and the people off the field. But also the recruiting. His father was a successful football coach in the state, and now he's been a successful football coach in the state for a long time.
Josh Page sacks Scott McMullen.
And the thing that gets you is when your father is at Baldwin Wallace and wins a national championship, and you're at Youngstown State, and like you said, you win 4 national championships.
High school coaches trust you.
Yeah, the high school coaches. You go out and you recruit the high. Your recruiting's going to be good.
Here's a punt by Andy Groom. He didn't have hang time on his kicks last year. I'm telling you, it's improving. Welker from the 4. Oh, what a block. Youch. Donnie Nicky just got clotheslined. It's a 13-yard return. I think it was Nehemiah Glover. 11:20 remaining in the ball game. It's 38-7. Watch this
25
block.
right there.
Fifth-year senior, 35th start. Watch number 25, Donnie Nicky, get blocked on this punt return coverage. Oh. And then he gets up and he says, "Man, that was, could somebody get the license plate number?" Then he went over and had to retrieve his mouthpiece. And Nehemiah Glover's the guy that laid the block on him. But
counting all of his arms and legs.
Dottie's a tough guy, though. He just bounced right back up. Here's a little crossing pattern. To Anton Page. Got about 5. Take a look at our Pontiac performance drive summary. Second half possessions. And a 60-yard drive before an interception was about the best that happened, and then a couple of punts.
Yeah, that could have been a touchdown if he just would have got it up a little bit, but not much to show in the second half for the Red Raiders.
And remember, late in the second quarter, the missed opportunity from 4th and goal at the 1. Had that produced a touchdown and had that intended pass for the end zone not been an interception by Dustin Fox, it'd be a lot different story, but that's a lot of ifs. 38-7 is the reality of things. Ohio State in front. Dustin Fox with a leaping interception that kept things going in the Buckeyes' favor. First down from the 34 for Kingsbury. Cliff again trying to buy himself some time. Oh boy, he's retreating. He's given about 25 yards of ground up, and then got level for his efforts. And it was A.J. Hawk who flew in and got him right in the beak. Man, these kids can hit.
First game of the year, but it's mid-season form.
True freshman again out of Centerville, Ohio.
Yeah, and it was a good hit. I mean, Cliff just held on to the ball just too long. I mean, he's wearing out of gas. He's been running around all day. Thinks he's going to go right, he's going to go left. No, I'm going to go back the other way. Now the freshman linebacker is going to hit him, and it was a clean hit.
Yes, it was. May have jumped across the line. Flags are down. Should be a free play. They go across the middle again, and it's out to the 45 for Nehemiah Glover. And I think they'll take the play instead of the penalty unless that whistle had blown. I didn't hear it. Will Smith or Kenny Peterson, one of those guys, I think, jumped in the neutral zone.
You know, we talk about these two teams, Brad.
Offsides on the defense, declined, first down.
And the recruiting. These two teams come from two of the best recruiting states in the nation.
That's right.
Texas and Ohio. California is in the top 5. Florida would be there, and then I think probably Pennsylvania. And if Ohio State can get 18 of the top 23 players in their class out of Ohio, I mean, they're just going to dominate this state.
Kingsbury throws on the run, was almost over the line of scrimmage, and he throws a shot down to the 35 for another first down. So Cliff still slinging it down there. There's no quit in him, that's for sure.
No.
He was a late addition to Texas Tech. They were pretty much out of scholarships, and somebody reneged that was going to come to Lubbock.
Yeah.
And they gave Cliff Kingsbury a shot at a scholarship. It wasn't Mike Leach, it was the regime before him, Spike Dykes and the guys. And he's paid off handsomely for him, being kind of a late addition to their recruiting class a few years ago.
What a nice job Spike Dykes did down there, huh? For 14 years.
Cliff throws on the run, got his man, touchdown Welker.
There you go.
And he still hadn't quit. 34-yard touchdown. Had to pick himself up again with some help from his offensive line, but the little fellow Welker got free, and Cliff threw a strike. 34-yard touchdown.
Looks like he got maybe got hit just as he was throwing the ball too. Kingsbury. That's Allen.
Will Allen is the guy 26. That's down.
There's a look from the end zone. Buy some time.
He got sandwiched after he let go of the ball.
Yeah, but he got hit high. It didn't seem like he got hit. It looked like he was moving his leg around, lower leg.
Meanwhile, Will Allen is the Buckeye that's down. He's the guy that made the tackle on Welker. Maybe just got the wind knocked out of him down there near the 2.
That's the other thing that you hate about these early games is the injuries. You train, you get your depth chart set, you get your safeties in order, you get your backups. It looks like it might be a shoulder, and then you go into the ball games and you play, and then the injuries are going to come because it's a contact sport, it's a physical game, and the injuries are going to come, and then it gets down to. And a lot of times the depth that you have to step in and play for a guy. Now, Will Allen is a backup safety. He's the number 3 safety. What this is going to do is push one of the true freshmen into that spot if he can't play.
And that might be Nate Sally, who they're very high on, true freshman, who's a youngster out of Fort Lauderdale.
It's a backup quarterback in there now, Simmons.
And he's going to throw the fade. Touchdown. Or a 2-point conversion, rather, to Page. Anton Page, that fade they wanted to try to use for a touchdown earlier, and they use it for 2 here. So it's 38-15. 80-yard drive by Texas Tech. Kingsbury did a lot of it. Under 2 minutes, they cut into the Ohio State lead. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Pontiac. Introducing the all-new Vibe. Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Cold, down, easy. Capital One, who asks, what's in your wallet? And Valvoline Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. Clint Greathouse has got it teed up after Texas Tech's touchdown and their 2-point conversion to kick it back to the Buckeyes. And it'll be Mike Doss, and he's 5 yards deep, and Mike decides he wants to run one back. And does. Out to close to the 25. Let's check in with Lynn.
Well, guys, I was just over at the Ohio State Buckeye bench, and Will Allen, they were working on his right shoulder. He has a right shoulder sprain. They put some ice in underneath. He will more than likely not be available for the rest of the ball game, but if we were to just remember that play, he just kind of whipped around trying to make the tackle, and apparently came down on that right shoulder.
All right, Swanee. Right now he's in some obvious pain on the sideline, and the Buckeyes take over at their own 24-yard line.
There's the future doctor. He's majoring, Krenzel, he's majoring in molecular genetics.
You can barely say it.
Yeah, you know, I've never been close to it. I guess if you want to know how sheep are cloned, that's what you want to major in.
I tell you what, they ought to clone Clarett. That's what they ought to do.
That's right. They ought to do that. They'll take Clarett into the lab with him.
There they are, the starting battery, I guess, if you will, in the backfield that Swanee talked about. One making his first start at home today and did a good job, and one making his first start ever and doing a great job. Time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country. And Maurice comes back in there for the Buckeyes. He's got a 174-yard, 3-touchdown day so far. They give it to him on a little draw play. Got a couple. Aaron Hunt made the tackle. Flugent's in on the stop too. Flugent's, he's had to work so hard out there today. 6'2", 236-pound senior linebacker, and as we said, he's led the Big 12 in tackles the last 2 years. I think he's got 17 today unofficially.
I think he was third in the nation coming back. All the leading tacklers that were coming back, he was number 3 in the nation. So he is a tackling machine.
Yes, he is, and he's up for several awards, including the Butkus, the Lombardi, the Nagurski. A long way to go with all those lists that are anywhere from 15 to 30 players long at the beginning of the season. McMullen, play action. Scott fires, got it complete. Inside the 40, Drew Carter. And Carter's across midfield. Yep. Nice catch, good move afterwards.
Good throw by McMullen. I'm glad to see him letting him throw. The backup quarterback gets in. You got to, I remember Howard Snellenberger always said, you got to play your backup quarterback, 2 quarterbacks early in the season in case something happens to him at your starter in the 5th, 6th, or 7th game. You've got somebody that can go in and play. But this also shows Carter, the backup wide receiver, they've got some depth. We talked about the skill positions. They've got a lot of players that can play.
Ohio State is 9 of 14 on 3rd down today, and that's way better than they were last year when they were 8th in the Big Ten in that category. Now they go back 1st down run, and we go down to Swanee.
Well, Brad, at the start of the show, we talked about questions that the offensive Buckeyes might have in terms of getting answered this afternoon. And on the offensive side, we started up talking about the offensive line. I think their offensive line has done a phenomenal job this afternoon. Quarterbacks' decisions. Even the backup quarterback is making good decisions here in the second half. And let me see. Can the backs and receivers make plays?
I wonder.
What do you think, guys?
I don't know. 269 yards rushing. And an 18-year-old's got a lot of them. That's right. Jenkins has played very well. Gamble has as well. Maurice Hall. There's not only one Maurice in town. There's a couple. Inside the 25. 26 yards for Maurice Hall.
The left side of the offensive line, Stafford, we've mentioned a couple of times today, and Douglas, the left tackle over here. Take a look at their blocking. It's going to be a huge gaping hole inside. Nice blocking. Stepanovic stays with his man, just occupies him enough, and the running backs have the talent to say, just give me a little space and I can do my thing.
67 yards for Maurice Hall.
Excuse me, Brad, if he's joined us, Stafford, who we just had a shot there, his first start ever. Didn't start in college, 5th-year walk-on senior, and never started in high school.
Never gave up. That's the key. Out of Upper Arlington, Ohio. 280-pound senior. They don't have a lot of seniors on this team. You watch a guy work that hard like that, and you talk about setting an example for the youngsters.
He is the only senior on the offensive starting crew. And he's only playing because of the injury to
Adrian Clark. And Clark has played some today, but he's had a bad back. On 2nd down. Ross, who has 2 touchdowns today on the carry, down to the 16. And down to Lynn.
Well, Brad, I just wanted to point out one person on that offensive line for Ohio State, Ivan Douglas, number 53. This is his first start. They thought he was going to start last year, but he developed a blood clot in his lungs, almost died, did not play the entire year. I asked him yesterday during practice, I said, what does this start mean to you? He simply looked at me and says, this is my personal homecoming. All the little things in life mean so much more to me. He says, yesterday, I walked over to the hospital and I saw the children that he goes see every weekend before the game. And I watched them and I said, I've got an opportunity to play football at a great institution, big-time football. But the most important thing to me are the little things every day and says, I'm going to go out and play this game like it's the last game I'll ever play.
He has stopped and smelled the Buckeyes along the way. That is a great story. And a lot of those Ohio State players go and visit the kids at the hospital. It's a tradition that's been ongoing here. And Jim went with him yesterday. And then Swanee talked to Ivan when he came back. And that's tells you what kind of kid he is, too.
You know, a lot of programs, a lot of coaches take their kids and do that. And I think that's a great thing to do.
Sure is. At the 13, first down. Ohio State's got this thing well in control. Ross is not done working. And they've done this pretty much on the ground with the exception of one pass. And this is not trying to rub anything in. They're just executing on that offensive front. And the running backs all want to be part of this, and as well they should. They've worked hard for spring and then the preseason, and now it's 310 yards rushing for Ohio State. And last year they were 25th in the country at 180 a game. They might go right to the head of the class after the first weekend, I would bet. 2nd and 5. Ross again. And he's close. Is he in?
I say his knee hit before he got into the end zone.
They're not going to give it to him. Much to the dismay of the crowd here at the Horseshoe.
You wonder whether Ohio State was going to lead in rushing. Does Nebraska play?
They play tonight.
So
Darren Diedrich and company will probably look at this game and go,
that would be the only challenge, I would think.
Absolutely. Well, Lydell Ross has scored twice today. Maurice Clarett has scored 3 times. Ross will try to make it a triple of his own. Not quite. Flugents and Jason Wesley on the tackle. Flugents closing in what is going to be a losing effort on a 20-tackle ball game. Man. And now Maurice Hall comes in.
Well, those are the 3 running backs: Maurice Hall, Ross, and Clarett. And
you see the first guy that met Lydell Ross to give him a high five on the sideline? Maurice Clarett.
Right. And like you say, they're all 18 or 19 years old.
Now it's Hall. But it's McMullen on a quarterback sneak for the touchdown. Yeah, let's get those quarterbacks a little sugar.
Keeping everybody happy.
Yep. (44-15). And again, the freshman, one of the first guys to meet his comrades out there. Mike Nugent in for the point after. He's been a busy kicker today, and he's been perfect in everything, including his career-long 45-yard field goal. Got it. 76-yard drive in 12 plays, just under 7 minutes elapsed. Jim Tressel's 12th-ranked Buckeyes look all of that. They lead by 30. Clarett, freshman, starting his first game as part of our Pacific Life game summary. In fact, he kind of put this game away. 3 touchdown jaunts. 59 yards was his first one, almost a carbon copy of 45 for the second. And then why not give him a short one as well? At the goal line, powers his way in. And Archie Griffin, a 2-time Heisman Trophy winner, says, yep, he is pretty good. So what a debut. There's the numbers. 8.3 a carry and 3 touchdowns.
And he looks like he's ready to go for some more.
Yeah, still got his chin strap on and everything. Jeremy Uhlenhake will kick off. So even some of the reserve special teams guys getting some shots here. Jeremy kicking off, and McCann and Henderson will be back deep. Ohio State up by 30 with just over 2 minutes left in the ball game. High kick coming downfield at the 11-yard line. Henderson trying to weave his way near the 30, got close to the 28. And that's where Texas Tech will have it with 2:15 to go. Top Division I AA freshman starters.
True freshmen.
True freshman starters, and what they did in their first game. Tony, then Dorsett, now Dorsett of Pittsburgh, 100 yards. I remember Herschel's debut against Tennessee, and he ran over Bill Bates at the goal line. Got 84 on his way to 1,600. Emmett Smith only 16 for Florida. Marshall Faulk 39. Ron Dane 53 at Wisconsin a few years ago. All were true freshmen. 75-yard day from this young fella.
So he goes right to the top of the class.
Not bad. Kingsbury throws, and Peters couldn't hold it. Had a chance to make the catch for a first down. It goes through his hands.
Well, Texas Tech have had 11 possessions, and they've had 5 3 and out, 3 plays and out 5 times. What I'm trying to say.
And the ones that really killed him, they had 2 red zone possessions, and they were taken over on downs by 4th and 1, and then they were intercepted by Dustin Fox.
They had, and I'm sure that that's one of the things offensively they're going to talk about when they go back and look at the tapes of this game. Is two touchdowns that could have been weren't there.
Yep. And Ohio State, on the other hand, 4 times in the red zone. They scored touchdowns all 4 times.
Well, they scored on 7 of 11 possessions also.
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Which is the way you want to do offensively.
Well, Ohio State came in ranked 12th, and everybody said, I wonder if that's too high. They have too many questions.
Well, if you get the ground game going, that can pull everything else. I mean, the quarterbacks look good when the ground game is going.
You get over 300 yards on the ground per ball game, and you're going to beat a lot of people.
You run up against a defense that shuts down that running game, and now let me see your quarterback and your receivers and your running backs play.
Peters over the middle, got it for a first down out to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 12.
But this ain't bad for a start.
No, it's not bad at all. And in talking about Ohio State being 12th, you say who's first? Well, the ESPN USA Today top 25. Miami, the defending champions, who've only lost 1 ball game in the last 2 years. Texas and Oklahoma from the Big 12. Florida State went 8-4 last year, but he was disappointed. Tennessee from the SEC. And we'll continue that list after Cliff Kingsbury comes up throwing. And Welker, who has a touchdown today, gets it out to midfield. But again, as you look at the top teams in the country, and many of them are not playing this weekend, obviously. Colorado, another Big 12 team. Florida with a new head coach. Nebraska plays tonight. Washington and Michigan 9 and 10. We'll see them next week in the Big House at noon Eastern. Georgia, highly thought of in the SEC. There's Ohio State. And down the list you go, down to Maryland, the defending ACC champions, who play Notre Dame next week in the kickoff classic. Wisconsin in the top 25, and they survived last night. Kingsbury, long throw, and should have been caught in and out of the hands of Anton Page.
All right, who's going to be there at the end of the year this year?
Well,
you think Miami can repeat?
I think the schedule's too tough. They got Tennessee mixed in there with Florida and Florida State, but they lost a lot to the NFL.
I agree with that.
I kind of think Florida State's going to make a nifty little comeback, and I really like those Sooners out there in Norman.
I agree with you. I like Oklahoma. They haven't had a repeat champion. They've only had 2, I guess, in the last 25 years.
Alabama and Nebraska.
Yep.
I like everything you guys are saying, but until someone takes it from Miami, I'd still make them number 1.
That's a great point, too. You got to beat the champ to become a champ, and nobody's beaten him in a long, long time.
Right,
we saw him 6 times last year. It seemed like they got better all the time.
I agree with you. The defensive line is, but the last 6 champions, the last 6 national champions have been undefeated. You think anybody can go undefeated this year?
Boy, it's getting tougher with a 12-game schedule, and sometimes you might have to play all the way through 13 or 14 or 15.
Yep. All those good teams out in the Big 12 with Oklahoma, Texas.
You figure they're going to beat up on each other somewhere along the line. 1st and 10 from the 42. Kingsbury throws a quick hitch down to Francis. He's trying to break a tackle, and he's wrapped up by E.J. Underwood, another true freshman who holds on, makes the tackle. And we're down to the final 34 seconds of this one. Well, the final Pigskin Classic isn't necessarily going to be a classic, but tell you what, all the Buckeye fans will head home, and they'll sure be smiling about this
they'll
thing.
be talking.
And we might have a timeout here.
George, Texas Tech, first timeout of the half.
So they take one with 20 seconds remaining. And we'll take a timeout as well. Mike Leach team on a 30-point deficit to the Smiling Buckeyes. Mike Doss, the leader of this team. Matt Wilhelm, the middle linebacker. Scott McMullen, the backup quarterback, all over there on the sideline. Final 20 seconds. Cliff Kingsbury with his 11th 300-yard game. He's over 300 throwing the ball and 2 touchdowns, and he's still throwing it. And he's got Welker. He might get 3 touchdowns before it's over. Welker is in. Touchdown, Texas Tech. Well, they knew what to do with that extra timeout they took. The fans are booing, but I don't know why.
This is a great effort by Welker to get into the end zone. Whether or not he's doing it against the second string defensive backs, whether there's some freshmen in there, whether it's Sally the freshman or whatever, it's just a great effort on Welker's part to get in there.
So Kingsbury's numbers, if you don't watch this game and you pick up the paper tomorrow, you're going to see Cliff up around 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. You're going to go not bad against Ohio State, but of course it's way too little and way too late. They'll go for 2 here, and they're going to throw that fade again for Page, and he got it if he kept his feet in. The officials looking at each other, and they decide he's out of bounds.
Well, one of them said he caught it. That official right there said, yeah, he caught it. And the other one said his feet were out. It's good teamwork. That's good teamwork there.
So Kingsbury and the fade to Anton Page will get the look. Ooh, well,
it's close. Whether he caught the ball.
Yeah, right. His foot was in, but did he have the ball yet when he caught it? Well, I got to give credit to Texas Tech. No quit in the Red Raiders, even though they're going to come up short.
They know that the game is over with, and they know that it's a second-team defense. But what are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
Go out and not try?
Exactly. Don't forget tonight at 7:30 Eastern and Pacific, Louisville will battle Worcester, Mass for the U.S. Championship, the Little League World Series presented by Honda. And then the winner takes out either Japan or Netherlands Antilles tomorrow night at 6:30 Eastern and Pacific in the World Championship. ABC Sports Championship Television. And here we're down to the final 12 seconds of this one. 45-21. Welker caught 7 balls for 117 yards and 2 touchdowns. Francis caught the other touchdown pass. And that was on that 4th and 2 on that quick slant to end the first quarter. We understand Japan has won their ball game. So when I read you that, we didn't quite know. Now we do. Here's the onside kick. And up high to recover it for Ohio State is John Hollins, a wide receiver out of Huber Heights, Ohio. So that, for all practical purposes, has ended the ball game. Everybody in on the act. An opportunity for Jim Tressel to use a lot of his young guys, and a lot of them made some big plays, and none bigger, obviously, than the debut of their freshman tailback.
Yeah, everything went pretty well.
It sure did.
Everything went pretty well for Jim Tressel and his group. We had a full house here.
Everybody heading home with a smile today. The earliest these teams have ever played football on this August 24th, and no better play and no better feeling, I guess, than taking a knee to end a game. And that's how Ohio State will do it. They're going to win it 45-21. Today's Chevrolet players of the game. Now, when you look at some of the guys like Doss, you hate to give it to a freshman, but when he carries for 175 yards and 3 touchdowns, Maurice Clarett, in his first start, is the player of the game for Ohio State. And that linebacker, Lawrence Flugents, who was in on close to 20 tackles defensively, never gave up. He was our Chevrolet player of the game for the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Once again, final score. Ohio State wins it 45-21 in the Pigskin Classic. Be sure to stay tuned to the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. We'll be right back at the Horseshoe. Ohio State a winner 45-21.
Got a ball in his hand. I got a feeling it's a game ball. Coach, first, let's talk about the game. You came out pretty much a mistake-free execution first ball game.
Well, the key was not having any turnovers and mistakes, and our defense going out there and playing hard and tackling well. we knew Texas Tech was going to play a lot of balls and that type of thing. They always do. But I tell you what, our guys across the board prepared hard. I thought played hard and did well for an opener.
There were several questions about your offense and defense. We went over them. Seems like you got them answered in a very positive way.
Well, I think we got some of our answers, but, we've got a long road ahead. This is one of those extended seasons, so we've got an open date to really study ourselves, and then we've got a chance to, start 12 in a row.
Well, Coach, thank you for allowing us to talk to your freshmen. I
got to stay close and make sure that...
Maurice, I have to ask you, we had Archie down here. Give us your thoughts, what you were feeling going into this ball game, and as it unfolded, your confidence, did it just begin to grow?
Well, I was real nervous at first because I knew we had to get off to a good start. And the pressure was kind of on. There's something about me starting everything and just holding the position and everything like that. But after the first series, I just went out there relaxed and everything came along.
Okay, thank you very much. And Will Smith is right over here. Will, the defense dominated. You shut them down conventionally. You showed the moves you said you had.
Yeah, the defense wanted to come out and set a point from the first tip. You know what I mean? We just wanted to come out and play good and play hard.
All right, we'll look forward to seeing you down the road.
Okay.
Brad?
Final score, 45-21 in the Pigskin Classic. Be sure to join us for the Little League World Series final tonight, Louisville and Worcester, Mass. tonight at 7:30. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. For Lynn Swan, Bob Greasy, and our crew, Brad Nessler from Columbus, Ohio. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports Championship Television.
Castro Neves has...